Okay. Russia has a great national anthem.
And that's the only good thing over there.
And NATO got a little aggressive. No, I'm kidding.
I was at the Russian Improv once, and it was a tough. I was co-headlining.
Oh yeah.
Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah. You had a Spade Stroganoff special.
You know, I will say this:
who are we talking about?
I know that Russia's been in the news lately, and I won't say why, but without getting into
Come
politics.
on, give us a hint.
When I did SNL, my first update bit was Yakov Smirnoff. Remember that?
Just sounds like some illicit sexual activity. What happened later in the shower? Yakov Smirnoff. I mean, it doesn't sound...
yanked off. And so Yakov Smirnoff was like, in Russia, everything's crazy. You know, remember his act?
He was a Russian comedian from the 1980s.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
Everything was, I do not understand faucet.
Yeah, he goes,
what comes out of faucet?
Water come in Russia, bullets. Like, does it though? But no one
in
can really
Russia,
fact check
we take bath once a year. America shower all the time. What's up with that? Now give me a fucking $1. I'm a comedian.
It's so true. By the way, Dana, my rubles are really shitting. I have so many rubles I invested in. It's so dumb.
You bought rubles?
Oh, yeah. I thought they were going to be the next big thing.
Don't play the market. Come on, man.
So Yakov...
That's a crypto choice. So Yakov Smirnoff was a Russian comedian, and that reminds me of Judd Apatow.
No, I have to tell you, I did SNL, and my first thing was like big beard, and I was on with Dennis Miller on Update, and I was like this, in Russia, and then me and Dennis were going back and forth. I was doing stupid jokes, and he's like, hey, it's not like that anymore, you know. And I'm like, but in Russia, like it's all my hook of my whole life, and it's going away.
Did you have a funny name as like a Russian comedian?
No, I think I was Yakov Smirnoff.
Oh, you were doing Yakov Smirnoff. Okay, got it now.
And people understood because I did open and go, I'm Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah, you say it. I am Yakov Smirnoff. Yeah. It depends how far you want to go with Russian accent.
I don't really do accents or anything, and so I just did the most stock version. And then I get off, and it does okay. And then they go into the meeting after dress. And to see what's on the air show. So it's at 11 at night, you're finding out if you're on. And fucking Dennis is the first one out, and he goes, hey, Spudley, you can take off the beard. Because I'm sitting there in my whole Yakov outfit, waiting to see if I got it. And I'm like this.
Because it's your whole life, and you walk into the room at like 10:45, and you see which cards were part of the outline of the practice show, and then the ones who've been placed off the main area. So if you see Yakov Smirnoff over to the right, then you sulk, right? The cast member who's cut just sulks.
It would have been nicer if Dennis just ran out and started stabbing me. That's exactly the pain.
Because I would look in and I go, okay, Church Lake cold opening, Wayne's World, okay, Massive Head Wound, Harry.
Was in.
Well, I'm just telling you, let me finish.
I was scraping my update piece. It wasn't even over to the side. It was like way over here. Franken put it way over here. Now. All right. Judd Apatow is on the show.
Judd Apatow.
And Judd is an old stand-up buddy from the Valley before SNL. I knew him.
Yes, from born and raised in Northridge, I believe. I just made that up.
Yeah.
But he's from the Valley.
But
so that'll tell you a lot.
We used to hang out a little bit, do stand-up out there.
He has an interesting voice. I've never tried to do it, but for this intro, I'm going to try. Judd Apatow, ladies and gentlemen.
Go.
Here we go. Judd Apatow. Hey.
That's Kermit the Frog.
I know.
No, that's Fozzie Bear.
Look, this is inside baseball for an impressionist. I normally, when I start, I suck. And then give me time, and I will master Apatow. Yeah, but that was an Apatow-zer.
That's mine.
Hey, I'd have to see his special right before I came in here. Anyway, Judd Apatow is a brilliant director. He's directed a lot of great movies. 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
I don't want to judge Apatow.
All right, here he is, Judd Apatow. Judd's got the most to go over. Not the most in SNL. That's a little wispy, but Judd's got so much and so much in comedy that it's perfect. It's right up our alley.
Can we go back to...
Go back. We just started.
And lead into this because confidence. Okay, this is why I think of you. I think of... Here how I think of dysfunctional comedians.
Yes.
Wounded, upset, dramatic, dysfunctional, make the wrong decisions, or as Leno would say, never stop. They do stop. They whine. They're, when I think of someone like you or Sandler, it's just full speed ahead. I mean, Did you, in those early days, I mean, how did you, remember when I hosted the 15th annual Comedians show?
Yes,
and
that's
I told
right.
you, I told you.
The Young Comedian
special. I said
special.
one word, Judd, direct. No, I didn't say anything.
You might not have heard him. It was a catering.
Well, that was a big deal because that was the show we all wanted to get on. To me, that was like getting on the Tonight Show, the HBO Young
huge.
Comedian special.
Yeah.
Everyone broke off of that. You were on it.
Yeah.
I went to the taping and saw you and Schneider do it. And Dennis Miller hosted it.
He hosted,
and in the crowd was David Bowie.
Yeah,
and that seemed like the most pressurized situation to do a set with David Bowie in the corner looking like Starman. It was a really exciting night in Santa Monica at this little theater that is now a bookstore. And Drake Sather had an incredible set that night.
He was on your set?
He was on
my
yours.
set? Yeah, mine.
And
Drake was great.
Yeah.
And then I auditioned for it in New York at Stand Up New York. Jon Stewart was also auditioning for it. I brought all my friends from high school. Jon Stewart murdered so hard, gets the show. I go on after him. You couldn't bomb worse in front of all of my friends.
That's the worst.
And you stacked the crowd a bit.
I stacked the crowd, and even my friends were like, I don't know where to laugh.
Well, how did you feel? Well, how did you deal with afterwards and the faces that go, that was good, where they changed the review mid-word?
There was nothing. There was no way for even them to fake that went well.
How long did that affect you? Like a week, or
I could wake up in the middle of the night right now and be like, oh.
Well, because that was a fucking big deal. There was nothing really going on, and it was HBO and The Tonight Show. And I tried to get on the Young Comedians every year, and I kept barely missing it. And I was a young comedian, and they go, "Oh, we gave it to Richard Belzer this year." I'm like, "Well, isn't he 80?"
Well, didn't we had Janine Garofalo on the 15th annual?
Oh, that was yours.
Ray
what was your
Romano.
lineup?
Ray Romano.
He was the one who stole it. And even when we were shooting these like interstitial interviews, I don't even know if they used much of it. We all went, oh my God, Ray Romano's going to be a star. Like he found himself in that moment. Nick
Introduce
DiPaolo.
me as Regis. I don't do an impression, but he really wanted me to. Anyway.
Wait, if that's so many, I know we're going to talk about so many things. I love the Young Comedians because the lineups are interesting and the interstitials were interesting because they go, HBO said, just talk to the camera for a minute about whatever. And that was, looking back, it really showed you had no direction on ours.
Yeah, me too.
So do you remember what you even did?
I don't remember. I just remember watching Ray do his, and he was eating an apple while talking and just was already a master. And I think I just thought, oh, this is another level
of how you do it.
Of it. And I thought I had a pretty mediocre set, and I made a very big mistake in doing the set, which is I had never been on HBO. I'd only been on like Comic Strip Live and Evening at the Improv, where you're never allowed to curse. And I said, I'm going to curse.
Right. Why?
Show them.
Because I'm on
it's
cable.
HBO.
And then if you watch my act, I think I just added fuck everywhere just to be edgy, and none of them were punchlines. And
the worst.
And then when they would air it on Comedy Central and reruns, they have to bleep all the curses. So it's just a very
I always tell young comedians, save the fucks. Don't just go, I went to the fucking store.
Or back
it has to be a punchline, and if you're Jerry Seinfeld, you'll fight the line for a year to get the fuck out.
It's hard to follow a dirty comic also. And now, Jon Stewart, last question. Do you look at the lineup, and are you worried about following Jon Stewart, or he kind of blindsided you?
Total blindside. I don't think I knew his act that much back then, because that was 1992. So I wasn't on the East Coast much, so I didn't know what was happening. And I don't remember who else was on that night. But then I got it the next year, and Andy Kindler was on that, and Janine Garofalo, and Bill Bellamy. And that was like the week we started doing the Ben Stiller show. So I had to go to Arizona and shoot it, and then come back, and we started, shooting the Ben Stiller show.
How did you know Ben at that point?
I met Ben online at Elvis Costello Unplugged.
Okay.
For you
in
kids,
92.
Online means
91.
91.
In line
online or in line? That's
you were physically in line.
Seinfeld bit. I was in line, online, and then Dana Gould was there, and he had met Ben before, and he introduced me to Ben, and then we were chatting, and he very quickly mentioned that HBO wanted him to do a sketch show. And I was like, oh, we should get together and kick that around. And we did like a day or two later, and then sold it like a week later, and everyone thought we knew each other for years, and we literally had just met the week before. And then HBO sold it to Fox.
What were your credentials at that point that he would say, okay, you're good enough to do this?
I had just like, they were like stealth credentials that seemed better than they were. So I would help people write their acts, and then they would throw me a co-producer credit. So I did that for Jim Carrey and Roseanne, and I did a special, which was a funny special with Dennis Miller. It was the pregame show for Paul Simon live in Central Park.
All these funny shows.
Right?
Wait.
And so he did a half hour where they showed clips of Paul Simon before
and
the
you
live
wrote some
concert.
of his stuff?
And so I wrote, the pregame show with him. When you write with Dennis, basically you're transcribing because he's so funny, and you're just organizing.
Apatow cat, got some lines for me here, okay?
Well, my favorite joke I wrote for him was, we're about to start the show where Paul Simon, along with his, he goes, coming up next is Paul Simon and the 27 musicians it took to replace art.
That's a great line. That's very Dennis-y. Coming up next, the 27, Paul Simon and the 27 musicians it took to replace art. Okay, but he used to do that too. Same with Gary.
This guy whispered to his friend, he means Garfunkel.
See, it's the jaw. Everything. Carson's the jaw. That's the jaw. 99% of impressions are jaw-based.
Jaw-based.
Well, Dennis, so I did that with Dennis, and so that made it appear. So I had a bunch of those credits. I did like 3 Tom Arnold's specials that were like kind of like reality comedy. And it gave the appearance that I was a producer, but really I wasn't producing much.
Were you actively, in a very healthy way, unafraid, had an inner confidence and sort of self-promoting in a normal way, like a sense I can do this? Or were you like, Ben, did you ever have, where were your insecurities?
I was terrified.
You just fought through them, huh?
I've talked about this before, but it's interesting to talk about it with David.
This podcast is huge, believe me. No one's heard it before. This is global.
But, David lived down the street. When I lived with Sandler. Rob Schneider lived across the street.
Drake Sather lived close by.
I was writing jokes for Jim Carrey, who lived over the hill.
So it was a little
and that was right as In Living Color was starting. And
Jim Carrey was like Apple stock. You got in way early on that one.
Exactly. That was like the Tesla stock I thought I shouldn't buy because he was stoned on Joe Rogan.
This is pre-iPod Carrey. Just like, they don't got nothing.
And I definitely had that sneaking suspicion, I'm not as good at this.
So your career is based on seeing guys that are better than you and then just surpassing them, basically.
Well, I just thought, this isn't my move in the way that it's their move. I mean, when I remember, David, when you came to town with your leather jacket, fresh from doing
Arizona Surfer.
You were just like with Sharon Stone in the Police Academy movie.
What's up,
and it was
buddy?
Like, there's a new guy in town, and I wasn't even in at the Improv. I would go to the Valley Improv and wait to see if someone didn't show up, and then I would do that spot. The manager, Joe Drew, was always cool. And I literally remember the day that you came to town, and it was like, oh, Jesus Christ. You could feel like, this guy's going to do great, and he looks great.
New kid in town.
He's got attitude. And then Schneider came from San Francisco.
What? Come on.
He's doing the gym teacher bit.
Yeah.
Hey, set your clocks back.
Yeah, he's doing that bit. And then Sandler was doing Elvis in the refrigerator. And everyone seems to be reinventing it.
Ridiculous. Because you're like, this kind of isn't what we saw. When I used to look at that Improv chalkboard, it used to be, it would say like, this is dating me, but it would be like Leno, Paul Reiser, Jeff Altman,
Ellen,
maybe Belzer, Ellen, Seinfeld. And you're like, it was such a like first ballot Hall of Famers. You go, Jesus. But you didn't really realize it then, just everyone was good, Yeah. And then, but they all kind of were around the same age, same look. So that I got in 60% because I looked 17 14. And I had blonde.
Well, you always had kind of confidence, or you were faking it. Because I met you were like 21, and I was like, this guy seems like he's got it all together. And so I know you now. I knew I was completely wrong.
But then he passed out a Jack in the Box from hypoglycemia.
Do you remember when I...
Did you ever in high school say, jack off in the box? And that was the big joke for the guys in the Volkswagen driving
And you go, I could go national with this joke. Jack off in the box.
Jack off in the box. Hey, wait a minute. It's called Jack in the box. Hey, that's a sexual.
No, Judd, what about...
Come on, Judd. What about
were you there when I passed out at Taco Bell?
Well, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But it was this thing where like
no one saw it.
Suddenly David has this thing where if he doesn't eat, he's going to go unconscious in public spaces. And then it happened at Saturday Night Live, right? Where they had to like wheel you out on a stretcher.
Spade passed out. That was pretty much every other week at the 17th floor.
I'm like, stress.
Spade's gone.
Yeah. We were meeting to play tennis. I think everyone's supposed to play tennis, and then I stopped by Del Taco, what everyone does before they do activities. And then I think it was a combo of I was waiting in line, I hadn't eaten, and I started to feel, and maybe there was a dog tooth in my burrito. Yeah. Something about it was like, this isn't working. And then I go, I think I just laid down on the floor and talk about no friends, nothing, no one helping me. And I'm like, Sandler's not even famous. Not yet. That's not going to help me. And
you knew he was going to be famous.
Now I know he would have sent a chopper.
Well, you were delicate. That's when we found out you were delicate.
He'd hang out with you, and your eyes would get real big, and you go, I got to go. I got to go. Just got here.
Let's go back to Judd for 1 second.
I like exploring hypoglycemia in an adult's mind. That's page 1.
But anyway, so that was the environment as a fan of comedy, always a giant fan of it. Mm-hmm. I was smart enough to meet someone like Norm Macdonald and go like, this is another level of this. But I could I used to write jokes for Roseanne with Norm. Like we both got hired to write her act together, and John Rigi and me and Norm. I remember going to Roseanne's house, and we would sit there with legal pads with Roseanne, and she would say like, I want to do a bit about how it's better to suck cock than to kiss ass, because at least when you suck cock, it's a deal. I'll suck your cock and then you'll give me something. When you kiss ass, you're doing it with the hope that you'll get something. And she would she'd tell us some like theory she had, and we would like write it down and try to turn it into a
And so
routine.
Norm was demure in a way and like just trying to please.
It's funny to see Norm in that scenario.
Yeah, you got to suck
giving
cock.
Good feedback. Norm going, there's something there.
You can kiss ass, but eventually you got to suck cock. How about that joke?
You were smart because you were like noticing early on, if you didn't think, which you did make it as a comedian, but early on you were like, it was Bitcoin producer credits. They were like worth so much you didn't know it. And then later they just start paying off in reruns. And
you guys never wanted to help other people. That's what it was. That
everyone really self-centered.
Everyone wanted to be a star.
I just hit him. I'm like, wait.
It was Planet Dana from day one.
Day one.
Sharp elbows. Motherfuckers, follow that.
Yeah, but you're never going to write like jokes for other people for money. I had no money, and I was really afraid of being broke. So I thought, no one seems to want to help anyone. And if people were like, oh yeah, they'll give you $50 a joke or a couple $100 to sit with them for a few hours. So I did that with George Wallace and Taylor Negron.
Everybody.
Great.
You know, with that, you're so right. Going back to dysfunctional comedians. And if they meet a guy like you who's smart and funny, obviously, and disciplined, and is going to kind of tease out the best of them. So David actually wrote jokes for me for a short period of time. Remember the grumpy old man joke he wrote?
Oh, no. Go do it.
It was something like, in my day, we didn't have latex condoms. Let's see. We would take a bearskin and wrap it around our privates and tie it off with a bungee cord. And we use the same one over and over again. And that's the way it was. And we liked it, but for a very brief time before
I think it was because SNL, I talked to Sandler this morning because you were coming on. And I was saying, do you remember the sketch I wrote for Julia Sweeney? Because we had talked to her. And we started talking. And I wrote the sketch for her. And she was surprised because I wasn't in it. Mm-hmm. And he goes, yeah, well, you're a fucking writer. And I go, oh, that's right. Because we are so selfish that at the end of the day, my job was to write. So was Sandler. Yeah. So you're not supposed to really write for yourself there. And so I wrote for someone else. And then I guess because Dennis would ask me for update jokes, if I wrote for Grumpy Old Man, I thought that was such a funny hook. If I could throw some shit in, fine. You know, you've got great guys all around you. Like if I had a rewrite table.
It is magic for a comedian who's written all their own stuff and knows how hard it is. And you have your few hits, you repeat them over and over again. And then someone like Bonnie and Terry Turner or David or Robert Smigel hands you something. And I'm like, because I had written a sketch And I left it early on in SNL. I left it, and Robert said, "Can I take a look at it?" I'm like, "Okay, who's this guy?" Right?
What a gift!
I thought I'd already got it, and I came in. It was like gold. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's so much better." The fuck
writing.
So it's really makes sense how comedians would gravitate toward you.
Well, Sandler, was really smart, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
Because I remember, first of all, I remember when he went to audition for the show. He flies to Chicago. At the time, his act is all just like mumbling. So
and the Will Chamberlain bit.
and he was hilarious, but still hit and miss in the clubs. Like we loved it. We would sit in the back and just love it. And but I remember going to gigs with him where it did not go well. It was not a consistent situation. We all knew he would make it big.
The last time it did not go well for Sandler.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going with him to San Diego to the San Diego Improv and telling Dave Becky, who ran it at the time, you got to let Sandler headline like on a Monday. Yeah. And Sandler bombed so bad for an hour and put his back against the wall and just ran it.
Just said the jokes.
Annoyed. And so when he left to do the audition, I thought, I mean, what does Adam do? I mean, he doesn't do characters. I mean, what is he going to bring to the show? And then he gets it. And suddenly, like, he's gone. And I'm in this shitty apartment living under a stripper in the valley. And he doesn't bring his clothes, his ID. I literally have his ID and his driver's license from when he left.
How did he fly then?
I have no idea. Back then, you couldn't do it. Like, he took nothing with him. I literally have a box of his clothes.
You could bring dynamite on the plane back then.
You could do anything back then. And so
one time.
I forgot what this was. It was leading into, so Sandler gets there and he's trying to get on the show. And his strategy was to write for you. So he would write you an amazing sketch with someone, usually someone like Smigel.
I wonder what it was.
And like in his head, so he'd write like whatever. I think he was part of maybe the Pepper sketch.
Oh, Pepper Boy.
That was a monster.
Corrin and Smigel probably got on that too. Yeah.
And the other one was the one where you're the host who keeps making out with the people walking in the restaurant.
That was when I was still on SNL. The other one was hosting, but Sandler, Schneider went in that.
El Cantori was a fucking hit. Was that Christy Alley was the host?
Or was it the other one was like you like the juice?
Oh, the fucking juice.
That was Smigel and Sandler. Yeah. But El Cantori was the one where I had Victoria's legs up in the air, and Smigel kind of fake tried to say don't do that, and I'm like, that was one of the biggest. I mean, that I was just writing a physical gag, but
and Sandler would give himself like one joke in it, but a good joke.
Yeah.
And that's how he tried to get himself exposed, which is to let other people like you murder, but give himself a key thing where I think he came out in his underwear at the end of the sketch.
He was rip fit, man. He was like, he came
boxer. out as don't you forget about the Macho Man.
Yeah.
And he came out as that Racky Pete.
But I always found him funny and charming. And he did have a few months of connecting with the audience. Opera Man, it was so abstract. He had a star and he would do that. And I just loved it, the silliness of it. But when he hooked, they went with him. Boom. Yeah.
I don't think Franken loved it at first. Well, let's get back to you. So
I remember him telling me about Franken not liking it. He would like tell me that because I would always be like, "How's it going?" Because I was, this was my dream to get in SNL.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
So when Sandler got in there, like, oh my God, someone got in, and they're going to pull me in at some point, and we would all be on the phone with Adam trying to think of ideas for him and Schneider. I don't remember you calling asking for anything, but I remember talking to Schneider.
I was crying in my office, passed out.
Sensitive Naked Man was one of those.
And
that was Schneider.
He was trying to figure out, how do you get on the show? How do I get my personality through? And I remember he said that one day he knocked on Lorne's door and Franken's in there. He says he's in his underwear. He put a hammer in his butt, like he was holding a hammer in his butt.
This is Al Franken?
No, this is Sandler.
Sandler.
And then he just like knocked on the door, opened the door, and went like, "It's hammer time." And then they did not look amused at all. And then he walked away, like he was just trying to find a way.
But that's just a ballsy. That's very Sandler.
Great.
Like fucking who would have?
Well, it's who would do that? Who's like New York guy and like upper going to Orso and Franken, and then a guy walking with a hammer in his butt. But it was the change, and not the changing of the guard, but it was like a bunch of guys going, "Can we try all this kind of stuff?" I was a little different. Adam was different that way, and so it just was a new way. I don't know, of thinking. But you were right along our lines. So I get on with Rob. Sandler gets on. I don't think you knew Farley and Rock back then, but so then you are very close to the show in that respect, and then you like it too. you eventually start writing? Have you been brought in as a guest writer?
Well, I would talk to Adam on the phone all the time. I think in the early years he was talking to Hurley, who wasn't on the show at that point.
Yeah, right.
And we were all just trying to help load him up. So I remember like working on the Denise Show sketch.
Yeah, that was a big one.
With him. And I remember the other one I kicked around with him was the first cheap Halloween costumes, the Crazy Spoonhead sketch.
An update.
On
right?
Update.
Oh, I saw that read through. I was like, this is a fucking crusher.
And that was one of the first times he really went full Adam where
that was
total
connected.
Commitment. Yeah.
And then one day I said to Adam, can I give you a sketch and just hand it in? Don't touch it. I just want to know if I was good enough.
Oh, just like don't even touch it. Just let it slip through right into the read-through file.
I don't remember what the sketch was about at all, but it was a Dennis Quaid sketch, and it went on really early in the show, and they did it.
You got it on?
It was like a dinner table sketch argument of some sort, and it got on like in a key place, and I think did reasonably well. And I thought, okay, I can do this, but then I never could get the job there. Like I had the packet, and I never got hired.
Did you ever have a meeting one-on-one with Lorne?
As close as I got was one day Adam called me and he said,
"Hey-o."
He said, you know what? I had your packet, and Dave and Downey after months was holding your packet and talking to me and Schneider. And he was asking about me, and I was telling him that he should hire you. And Schneider said, I don't think he's ready.
Shut the fuck up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah. And so I was like, what?
They shovel writers in there. We mean ready. It's a tryout.
But then I was like thinking about it.
Come on.
And of course, at the time, it was very annoying. And then I thought later, almost every good thing that's happened in my life is the result of those 4 words.
What? You're not ready?
Just not getting in there was why I met Stiller and did the Ben Stiller show. I can literally blame everything in my life to Rob Schneider saying he's not ready. Meeting my wife, my children, like none of it would exist.
Interesting.
If I went in at that time. But later on, Roseanne hosted and I was writing jokes for her, so I wrote her monologue and I guess wrote that week, which is mainly the monologue. And that was really fun.
That's always weird because it's not weird, but sometimes they bring guests. I think Martin Lawrence was the first one to do it when I was there, and he brought some guys, and I was like, oh, okay. It's almost saying you guys are bad.
Yeah.
But it's more just like a trust issue because now I would love to have someone that wrote well for me around just to be, because you're so alone and to go, is this shit any good? Because you might think it's good, and they go, why would you do that? And I go, well, no one's around to ask. It's literally 85 people against you. And they're on your team, but you don't know, and you're scared, and they might be trying to talk you into something.
It's hard to go back when you were lucky enough to have hit characters, and every time it was like in the 90s when I would guest host. You'll do Bush, and we'll do Junior, and and then it was like you'll do Church Lady, and it's like 2012. I'm getting close to her age at least. All my characters are old. I'm still younger than Church Lady. Newsflash, kids.
You're aging into it.
Hey, Adam Sandler is listening right now. How you doing, buddy?
He is.
But Sandler
the fourth wall.
didn't repeat characters when he hosted, which was pretty cool.
I think that is sort of par for the course.
He did Opera Man, maybe? What did he do when he came back? I think that may be the order.
He did an infomercial that crushed. He did the Farley song, which
the Italian vacation sketch. Was maybe one of the funniest sketches of all time. I think my daughter loved that one. To me, I thought.
Well, I haven't been able to float this theory out, but since we're on Adam for a second, 2019, the year of Sandler. I've never seen anyone break show business that hard. Because first of all, his special was kind of supernatural because, my favorite word, because of shooting so many times and being so relaxed and so playful. Then he comes out with
Uncut Gems.
Was it Uncut Gems?
Yeah, Uncut Gems. Then he hosts Saturday Night Live and he destroys. So those 3 kind of broke shows.
And he won like the Indie Spirit Award.
He won a
And he gave a speech that if anyone out there wants to Google something that is as funny as anything can be, Adam gave a speech to all the snobby independent film people.
Right, yeah.
Where they cheer him like he is their favorite person, has always been. And then he attacks them in the most hysterical way. It was a perfect speech.
It just sort of was full circle, because back in the day, I remember Sandler just casually would say to me, "They hate me, Carvey." The critics thought he was, they didn't get him. And now since it's turned, it's kind of interesting to see a arc of a career like that.
I have two parts.
Back to Judd.
Judd is
That's all you get, Adam. Bop, bop, bop.
Judd is I had actually heard you had offered head writer at one point, but maybe that's not true.
There was some sniffing around.
Some grumblings?
Yes.
Maybe was it too late in the game? You had too much going on?
Well, at the time I was about to make a movie, and I felt bad about bailing on the movie. That was one thing. And then I was also probably nervous about what I could accomplish at the show.
Yeah.
What can you really do to the show?
Because it's so locked in.
It's locked in how it's made. And I wasn't sure I had something that I could bring to it unless I could really change it. And it shouldn't be changed. But look what's happened since then. Yeah. I mean, it's just gone on and just gotten better and greater. And it did everything it should do. And so it just didn't feel like
it informs me right now. Just because I was on it and it's still on in this huge franchise.
Shows you
I get to ride that wave. But I'm just curious, did you have wilderness years at all? After Ben Stiller, you have a couple of years where you lost your confidence, nothing's going on? Or was it pretty much, then you got with Shandling and that whole ride? Or was there times, or we could talk about your Gary Shandling experience, because I'm really curious about that and how it informed you as a filmmaker. Well, fancy question.
Yes. Well, I was bouncing back and forth to a lot of projects that weren't necessarily connecting in mass success way, but I like them. So I got to make a movie with Steve Brill, which Stiller was in, Heavyweights, a Disney movie. And, it cost $10 million and made 20, so it didn't sink my career.
Right.
And we loved it, but it wasn't considered successful in any way. And weirdly, now people really like it.
Yeah, it's charming.
And then the Stiller Show, we loved it, but it got canceled.
Won the Emmy for Best Show, though.
For writing, and so that was exciting, but depressing. And then I did Sanders for a bunch of years. And that was for me like, I need to learn how to do this. And if I'm here with Gary, I'll learn how to write. And that is, I think, what happened. It's just watching.
Were
Gary
you with the show when I came on? Because Gary asked me to come on before it had gotten on television. Yeah. And I was doing the host thing.
Yeah. I so remember that moment because you did the Smigel sketch where you did an impression of Gary.
Yes.
And it was hilarious, but not necessarily something that Gary would enjoy because there was a lot of whining. What was the impression?
Well, it was hard with Gary, and when he asked me to do it, I said, "You want me to?" Because he wanted me to come in and do the impression to him. He goes, "Oh yeah, I love it." I think it's kind of like, Leno goes like this sometimes, but almost never talks like that. Yeah. Gary and every comedian has their hook to signal the audience that I'm having a great time and this is really funny. Yeah. So I noticed that Gary would talk like this, but then when something was really funny, he would go into this pitch, and I told my dog that he shouldn't pee on the carpet like that. So he wouldn't go to that gear all the time. But once in a while, he'd just go off here, and it's like he's having a party in his brain. It was a great move. So I just did that when I had teeth and it was grotesque.
Yeah. You had big hair.
I had big hair. And
so Gary, I mean, it was really almost the definition of Gary.
Wanting it to make more fun of him in a way.
No, that he's offended on some level by it because it just goes right to the heart of maybe whatever he might think is the cliche way of looking at him, or like he's just too boiled down, right?
Reduced to just
that's what I do with everybody, though.
Yeah, so he's whiny guy or whatever. Right. So I mean, he's not mad about it, but he's like not loving it. Yeah. And then you call him at some point and say, "Hey, I didn't write that. Smigel wrote it. I hope you don't feel bad." And then Gary's response was, "Well, let's just do an episode about it." And then he had the writers write the episode where you guest host and you keep doing an impression of him on the show and how annoyed he is at you. And that was like the meta version of Gary. You know, he has his girlfriend at the time, Linda, do an episode where she's in Playboy magazine. Suddenly we're shooting with Hugh Hefner, and then on the set, Hugh Hefner asks Linda to be in Playboy magazine. And now Gary in real life has to deal with the fact that his girlfriend is going to be naked in Playboy magazine. And then the next thing you know, we're all at at the Playboy Mansion at a cocktail party where they have big pictures of her naked.
Right. Oh, to look at. Oh, wow. So
in the
weird.
middle, and Gary's got to be there
that's
and
an
suffer
episode
through
too.
it. And that's what would keep happening with every person.
Do you remember the Hervé Villachez was on that episode? The deplane, you know? And he didn't know it was a fake talk show because it hadn't aired yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was funny. Here's the thing that I find very, very interesting. First time, like I've been really bad in the 2 movies that I did because 125 takes, 300 rehearsals, you know. And it'll come to the way you do films. But Gary, we get on the set, it was pre-digital. So there's 3 guys with 16 millimeter. So they're covering me, covering Gary, covering the 2-shot. And Gary's going, I'll say this, you say something like that. Never experienced anything like that. So when I watch it, I go, wow, actually looks like I'm really acting.
Yeah.
So that was also a genius part. I mean, he spawned a world, an industry.
Well, because you have to be loose.
Yeah.
He liked going deep emotionally. It's a little bit cringe comedy, which I think people picked up on.
Curb is a little bit like
that.
Ricky
Gervais, you know, and so
after that,
you know, when you got, what was the first film that you directed?
I directed The 40-Year-Old Virgin was the first one. And we would do table reads to try to crack it. And Gary would always come. He was so nice. And he would pitch the fix. So I said to Gary, what do I do about masturbation? Because wouldn't he just masturbate all the time?
Right, he's a virgin, he's 40.
And so we're in a room with like Adam McKay and all these great writers and Seth, and we're trying to go, what would he do? And how do you not talk about that?
And how do you keep it Steve Carell? So it's not cringy with him because of his likability.
And then Gary just goes, maybe we just see his preparations for masturbating. And then Gary pitches out, he puts on his favorite bathrobe, he takes a shower, he puts out his tissues and his creams, and then we put on like Lionel Richie, Hello, underneath it. Right. And that was the scene. And Gary would do that all the time. He would tell you the great joke and the emotion, you know, because he did say to me once, I think that movie is about people who love each other. It's about love, and it's about when your friends are just trying to get laid, but you're looking for love.
Yeah. And that was his genius.
Yes, absolutely.
To balance pathos and comedy.
Yeah.
Like other geniuses. Chaplin. So when you, I just hear things about the way you direct, and I don't know if you did it on that one, but you're running a lot because you're on digital. So you're running long takes, which you couldn't do with 35
But not back then.
Not back then, but I don't know when you started that. And you're kind of like tilting people out of their preconceived choices by sort of yelling out things. Do it like this, do it like that. When did that start? Because that seems great for comedians who can improvise.
Well, it started with Stiller at the Ben Stiller show.
Oh, you were doing it then?
Yeah, because Ben, you know, a lot of times we would just be shooting a single of Ben doing like a Tony Robbins impression. And we would have a script, but then Ben would just talk for like another 20 minutes off the top of his head.
And you just run it on film.
And we would just run it on film. And then sometimes Ben would play this agent character, and he would be pitching bad career advice to people like Run DMC or something like that. But he would get afraid to say it to their face. So he would do a soft version, and then he would tell them they were wrapped for the day, and then he would redo his single with harsher jokes. and then we would just riff and play what else we could do. And then when we started doing movies, we thought, oh, you could do that in a scene. You could do that in the middle of a scene, even for emotional stuff, not just jokes. We did that with David on Love, where we just kept it loose, and it's not always punchline driven.
Well, I would say that for anybody, when you're discovering it, like sometimes when you think of a stand-up bit, the best you do it is the first time you do it.
Yeah.
And then you try to get back to that.
Exactly.
But when you're discovering something, the camera's rolling, and you're doing it for the first time, it just a lot of times gets a lot of pop. I think that's what Brando was always trying to do by hiding notes and oranges on the ceiling, so he just would experience it. So anyway, that's all I got, David.
And I think some of the best stuff,
film philosophy.
Some of the best stuff I've seen just as a viewer on set is like Will Ferrell on set just doing a run of alternate lines.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that about someone who, and probably Will Ferrell will be one of them, where you're sort of watching greatness in a sense.
Yeah,
you know, and I was envious that he would get these long takes to do to show that. You know, it seems like so much fun.
I mean, the one I always think about, one was Milk was a bad choice. You know, I'm in a glass case of emotion and Anchorman. That scene is just him and Adam for maybe it's just 15 minutes. They know they need one line.
And they get to go 15 minutes to get that one magic moment.
Just going crazy. Adam's yelling out stuff. Will's improvising. Yeah. They've written a bunch of stuff beforehand. There was one where I think it was that Rudd punches Will in the face in Anchorman 2. And they just wanted to get funny reactions from Ron Burgundy getting punched in the face. And Adam yells out, after he hit you so hard you speak in foreign language. After he hits you, and then it turned into, after he hits you, he hit you so hard, you're now 5 years old. And Will would just go on run after run.
Yeah. No wonder that movie pops
I would see that, at the end, as many of those, there's never too many for me, just to show that. And I always try to get Adam to do outtakes because, like on Grown Ups, it's all funny people. And I go, come on, we're all fucking around the whole time. I'm sure there's something in there funny. There better be.
Yes.
Just because we do the same thing. It's like, what are we doing this thing? And we would even huddle up in between and takes.
And I'm a hoarder, so like I actually feel bad if I don't find a way to get those alternate jokes out
somewhere.
It used to be on the Blu-ray, and we would do we used to call them line-o-ramas and just make 5-minute reels of the alternate stuff. Because if I'm like when I worked with Adam on Funny People, if he's riffing, I actually think it's gold, and the fact that it would just go in the toilet, I find unbearable.
I agree. We may have lost minutes from our wraparounds, right, Greg? Not to compare your feature films. This is just a basic questions I'd ask someone to do. And what people, the film that you were producer directed, you had a vision of it that most realized it.
I do think that
such a horrible
that The King of Staten Island. There's
with Pete Davidson.
With Pete, that I do think like for what was difficult about it.
Yes,
can you tell a fictional version of his story and what he's been through, and make it funny, but make you really feel it. Like that tone for me, which maybe is a little more of a Hal Ashby tone, which I'm always trying to figure out. The fact that movie works, I'm really proud of, because it's balancing like grief and pain, but still trying to figure out how to make people like Pete and Bill Burr funny.
Which Hal Ashby movie do you reference in your mind?
I always think about The Last Detail. Because
this ain't no horse's cock.
Yeah, exactly.
He meant which Hal Ashby?
We've seen the movie.
I am the goddamn.
That's a reference with my friends and with my sons. We are the fucking Shore Patrol, motherfucker.
Yeah, that energy.
Yeah,
where like that's a pretty long shot with no edits, and it just the whole movie feels so real. It feels like a documentary, and I'm always trying to figure out, can you do that with hard comedy? And have that aliveness.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, good. Coming Home, did he do that too?
He did Coming Home.
Coming Home was crazy.
And amazing stuff in Coming Home where they're at meetings with veterans talking about their problems. And he did a lot of it with real people and improvised it. And it's some of it is remarkable and very moving. So I always think about him. And I think about Paul Reiser in Diner because he made up most of his stuff and they threw him into it and he created a character.
That way.
It's so good when you don't know for sure what you're going to say, or they say, I get on some of these things, even in sitcoms, they go, all right, let's do another one, and just Spade this time, dealer's choice, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then and you have 5 seconds while they walk back to the camera and say rolling, and then you go, and then you just try something. But it's like on movies too. Just do one, let's do one for you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they will keep rolling. Maybe you do that. And sometimes they do them one at a time. I don't mind keep rolling. And sometimes there's a guy there. Like there's some movies, usually on Adams, we have Swartzen or Steve Korn or someone that sits by Video Village. It's a tough job. It's grueling.
Yeah, to be pitching
job is to pinch
extra
and punch
jokes. I did that with Paula Pell on a bunch of movies. I mean, from Saturday Night Live. She's remarkable at the onset.
And you get some winners.
We'd love to have her on this podcast.
Yeah,
we hear her name
for sure.
Yeah.
She gets, speaking of SNL, what would be your dream team? This is a fucking tough question.
I think I'd like to think of the what might have been team.
I like that phrase.
Like people that didn't get to full fruition in that space, the Gilbert Gottfried, Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
Robert Downey was almost a blessing in disguise that he left. Same kind of thing with you and Schneider.
He was 4 or 5.
Is it 1 year? Right?
1 year. Yeah.
Who else was really funny? I mean, Terry Sweeney was so funny.
Yeah.
On the show, Michaela Watkins, people that were there for a year, like Keckner, and Jenny Slate, who are so good.
Jenny Slate, yes.
And Stiller was there for like 4 episodes.
5 shows.
Bob Odenkirk was there for a few seasons, but never really could get on as a performer. So I always think about people who are amazing. That
you could have put together an A-team, kick-ass SNL
Conan
cast.
and Bob were writers with us, and they were feature players.
Yeah.
They're writer feature players. And I didn't even know it for probably 2 years because
I'm sure they did.
I was told, don't, like Shoemaker or Marcy or someone says, don't write yourself in right away. You're here for a job. And I was like, lucky to be there, but didn't, like you were saying earlier, writing for other people. Not that I didn't want to really, I just didn't know how to. I only barely knew how to write for my own persona, whatever that was. And so I'm trying to think for Dana or think for, whoever else. So that was hard. And then you get, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just forgot in the middle.
That's all right. That's okay. I'll cover for you. So Conan.
Oh yeah, I was saying, but Conan, those guys should have been on. And they were, and then when I heard their feature play, I go, you're not on. And they would once in a blue moon write something and it wouldn't get on. Yeah. Or just give themselves 3 lines. And I was like, wow, they're just getting shut out. So,
but what do you think the difference was? Because certainly, I know that when you and Rob and Dave, you and Rob and Sandler got there, you were intent on getting on. It wasn't like, well, maybe I'll be a writer and hopefully I get on. I mean, there was real energy, like I am here to become a star of the show.
Yeah, Adam, for sure. From day one, he had such confidence.
I was more embarrassed to do it, and they were doing it, and Rob was doing it a lot, and I was like, it's all that, is it fair? And then he got Copy Machine on, which wasn't even, I was getting them saying, don't do an update piece this week. Oh, you're here to write for people. Put that person as instead of you. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to get fired. And Schneider just had balls. So did Adam. They put shit in, and warmed out. Now,
I remember going to Schneider to Jerry's Deli after the Copy Machine thing hit. And he was as big a star as there is. I mean, it was just
one of those national catchphrases.
It was a moment, and it was hilarious. I mean, I also love the
making copies.
You put your weed.
Oh, that was a big one too. Put your weed in there.
Put your weed in there. And so, like, Schneider was the first one who really broke on the show. And what was the sketch that broke you where you thought
I haven't broken yet?
A little thing I like to call
the
Hollywood
Receptionist. Was it the
I think
Receptionist?
it was either that one or Bye-Bye.
Oh, Bye-Bye, that's right.
Bye-Bye was more overnight where I flew the next day and I heard it every day for at least 10 years. Like every flight for sure.
Really? How funny.
Just like Sandler always heard peanuts. Iraqi Pete. Iraqi Pete was kind of an incredible swing to have that kind of moment that didn't work. It was like during the Gulf War. And it was just.
What's a funny name?
I think it was Frank. In Adam's defense, I don't think he wrote it. I think it was Frank and going, Iraqi Pete. And we could have some clown like Sandler come out in a Speedo or something. And it was like, okay. I was one time humiliated because I was not on for probably like 10 shows. And then I just, people in Arizona are like, you're not even on. You're fucking obviously bombing, which is kind of true. And I was like, no, but I was. And then one day after I passed out, I was like walking down the hallway after my morning pass out. And then I should have faked it more during read through just to get Lauren to go, someone carry him out and give him a sketch. So I go, sketch. What do you need? A sketch.
Were you? I don't remember you being that precarious. But
no, I wasn't. But anyway, I'm sort of repainting.
You
myself.
all toured with me. Sandler toured with me.
Oh, yeah,
you toured with me.
Opening for Dana. It was fucking great.
Jon Stewart opened for me. Dave Chappelle.
Those are good shows.
I knew that. Yeah, you could tell right away.
By the way, Dana had no trouble following me. I would go on and I would do pretty good.
I was going that special in those days.
And then he'd walk out and they go, wah, push me into the wall.
If we're to be honest, Dana is still way better than all of you by far.
Wow.
Like, it's not even a question, right?
Is this going to be recorded?
This is
I've watched it all. I mean, you guys all kill it.
I've watched it all.
Dana, it's other level stuff.
He still
Beatles explaining technology, it doesn't get funnier than that.
well, the thing about Judd, he's a filmmaker. He makes a lot of pictures. People go in the cinema, with the popcorn, whatever. They look up, everybody's happy, laugh, and then a little bit of a tear. You want to see it again a week later. Sorry, I love being a Beatle.
Yeah, you can't. I would never follow it. That's like if you go, we're going to do this show, and these people are going on.
But that was my one move. Once I got there after failure before and after, but I have a great, blessed life. When I got there after a little bit of time, I thought, damn, I'm a fish in water now. I'm like, this really fits what I do. The clubs was even tough sometimes because I had no jokes.
Yeah.
I literally had not one punchline. It was all rhythms.
Before you got to SNL.
But when I got there, they want characters, impressions, and catchphrases.
Yeah.
I got that.
I remember seeing you at Igby's before you got SNL.
Yes.
And that was a great small club that's now a strip club. And I remember seeing George Carlin perform there.
Great.
But I'll tell you, I mean, watching you reduce like a person to what the impression was always amazing. Like, what is your take on it? But the Biden that you do, when I saw you do Biden on, maybe it was on Colbert or something, and I thought, oh my God, Dana quietly has a better Biden than everybody.
Come on. Here's the deal. Let's get real. And guess what? We do this thing as America. We're going to do better. We're going to do better. I like the yelling Biden now. And then the whisper. We know how to reduce the deficits of people. Come on, folks. Number one, what the guy said. Number two, the two part. Number three, you know the drill. It's not rocket science. Come on, we can do better. We'll do it. Come on.
What about...
I'm still learning him.
What about when Kamala Harris is in this... I just saw a clip of her, and she always has a nervous laugh. She's like the Joker. She's like, they're bombing Ukraine. She's like... She's like, you wouldn't get it.
Well, I just wonder what it'd be like to be married to her because she's very attractive and she's so cheerful. If you're like, hey, Kamala, we're gonna have breakfast. It seems like a really nice wife.
Nervous laughing is troubling.
It's troubling. It
is a deeply troubling thing.
Oh wait, let me go. I'm skimmed down here. Come on, shh! Everybody, shut up.
Let's get some questions.
This one's funny. 2007 Entertainment Weekly did the smartest people in Hollywood, and guess what? Judd got number one.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Who was number two? I think I beat Will Smith that year.
I'm sure you beat everybody, but you beat everyone in Hollywood. Jeez. This is unbelievable.
You're going really deep in research because that's the kind of thing that happens, and you go, God, I wish people talked about it more. Like no one talks about that in 2007.
Well, it seems like you're like everywhere. We had it with Ben Stiller too, where we looked at his IMDb and it's like, Ben, you're kind of like, whoa, and you have kind of the same thing, like, oh, he's there, he's producing, he's directing. It's like the resume is so big. I had to take a nap after I read it.
I have a question.
Just point it.
No, I have a question not about Judd. This will be great.
Okay.
Judd, your daughter Maud, who you might not know this, she's on a show called Euphoria.
Yes.
And
I've seen a few of them.
Euphoria is it's a show.
Showtime or
HBO.
Every time I watch it, I think I know Spade's watching it right now.
I watched one and I was horrified, Judd.
Yeah. Well,
I haven't seen that many naked wieners since my fraternity hazing. I was watching it and I was like, what? This is what they're watching? What happened to Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah.
And where's the simpler time?
It's all gone.
I think it's all
Silver
changed.
spoons.
But first of all, huge deal that Maud's
Freaks
on there.
Geeks.
I saw her on that and I saw Iris was in The Bubble.
And Iris was in The Bubble.
The Bubble.
Which comes out April 1st on
Let's
Netflix.
talk about The Bubble.
Yeah.
The Bubble is my attempt to do something during the pandemic.
So what point of the pandemic did it hit you? And when did you start shooting it? Because the pandemic...
You would even be allowed to shoot it.
Well, now I look back and I think it's almost like a nervous breakdown to want to make something during it. Because the pandemic started in March.
Yeah.
And by a year from there, I was almost done filming the movie.
And so you
got it going that fast?
Yeah, it was a very... I think maybe I had a manic episode.
Were you leading with the protocols then?
You had green light
for film sets and actual bubbles.
Yeah,
you were inventing it as you went along in a way. Right?
We were making a movie about making a movie in the bubble while making fun of the protocols, but also doing the protocols.
Yeah,
and making fun of the need to make a movie due to your ego or your madness, like that no one needs a movie. There's something more important happening. And we're mocking people who feel it's necessary while actually doing it. The whole thing is very hypocritical.
Can we make sure we edit that out and put it on Instagram? Because that's the most meta, that's like hyper meta.
Like we have a fake COVID supervisor in the movie who gives terrible advice.
And then he's a real COVID advisor.
I mean, the real COVID advisor is giving the same speech 5 minutes before the fake one is shot for the movie.
And you say, look at this clown that we're making fun of. And then you go, well, let's bring out the real guy who's exactly the same.
And we're all wearing masks. And then the actors are like chewing their masks in the scene and not wearing them on their ears. And we're making fun of how no one's wearing the mask. Yeah. And so the whole experience was strange that way. But it started because I was really getting stir crazy, and I was walking on the beach lot with my friend Brent Forrester, who wrote for The Simpsons and The Office. And one day we were like, we should just think of stuff. Like we're walking for hours every day.
Wasted thinking and walking.
Yeah. So we started talking about the NBA bubble, and that started making us laugh. Like, oh, those guys are stuck in that hotel. What is that like in that hotel? And then I thought, oh, this is almost like a Christopher Guest movie.
Yes.
Really, where all the actors are stuck in a hotel trying to make a movie and having a nervous breakdown. And then they're making a flying dinosaur action movie, and they think it's important. They're not tuned into what's happening, and they're having nervous breakdowns and having sex with each other and doing drugs. And
how was it received who'd you pitch it to, and how did they receive it? Especially all the CGI and all the big stuff. And
I mean, I told Netflix and
Ted Sarandos, our best friend.
I told Scott Stuber. And he certainly got the joke and said, let's go do it. And I said, I'll write a script, but I'll need to be rewriting all through it because it happened very fast. And I hired people that I thought could change it on their feet.
You had, who's the young lady that was in Sasha's last movie?
Maria Baklova in it, and Karen Gillan and Keegan Michael Key and Leslie and Iris and Armisen is in it, and Kate McKinnon.
She's good.
She's incredible.
McKinnon was funny.
She's really good.
Great.
Yeah, she plays the head of the studio. So every time she checks in to see how it's going, she's on safari or she's skiing, and she's just around the world.
She's one of the rich people that like sort of is skipping the whole quarantine.
Exactly. And so, but we didn't have any cases the entire shoot.
Interesting.
You didn't?
So we just, because it was only 2 sets. It was a green screen soundstage and the hotel.
When did the vax come in, by the way? During the filming, or when did the vaccine emerge? Were you already filming, or did you have 2 shots and a booster?
I never got vaxxed because I was in England and I couldn't get it in England. Okay. But around February, in the middle of the shoot, people would walk up to you and say, I got a call that I can get a vaccination at 10 tomorrow, so I'm not coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how it works in England. You have an appointment and you just go. It could be like the cinematographer is like, I'm not here tomorrow. And then slowly the crew.
And then I'm going to feel like shit for a while.
Brits are like that.
I'm not going to get I'll get the jabber tomorrow, so I won't be there for the business.
I'll just do it as long as you guys smile every time I do it. As long as he smiles. Look, he's giving us so much joy.
Is Lennon different than Paul?
Lennon is very, very cryptic. We're down here. How is it, Paul? It's great, we're having a good time down here. How are you? I don't know, just looking around, whatever.
I don't want to do any more.
I like it.
You know my one where he talks to Paul?
How would Paul explain TikTok to John?
It's very short little clippy things, where people put something on funny and they dance around. It takes about 10 seconds. And if you do it, you're a star all over the world. We did Abbey Road. We did the White Album. What's going on? But, it's like Kanye West. Who's that? He's sort of a talky singer. He's a bit maybe crazy, I don't know. Who was that? Who was he? Did he have a woman? He had a woman named Kim Kardashian for a while. What did she do? She'd take pictures of her bottom, How did she take pictures of her bottom? Well, with a little, we have a little television camera in your pocket called an iPhone. We should have to go working. She'd stick her bottom out and she'd take a picture of it. Doing the whole bit. What's so special about her bottom? It's not a normal bottom. It's a bottom 2.0. It's like God made a fanny and attached a person as an afterthought. The whole family's doing. They're all showing their bottoms, taking pictures. One man got so frustrated he became a woman. Boom. That's all I got. We don't have to keep it in here, but I like to entertain the entertainer.
I'm here just for
where
that.
Where else would it go? This is the place.
One of the great things I watched in the last few years pre-pandemic was you and Bill Hader and Mulaney at Largo doing an unproduced sketch.
Oh, right.
Which was Casey Kasem and his son who don't get along. What was the premise of it?
Yeah, they don't get along as a ne'er-do-well son.
Right?
And
we all did her first.
Yeah.
Yes, and it completely bombed on Saturday Night Live, like dead silence.
Yeah.
And then we just got revenge at Largo by doing the exact same. Son, you're a waste of space. You don't really do much with your life at all, do you? Dad, I know you're right about that. It's that kind of thing, back and forth.
For 10 minutes.
Laid there at SNL, killed in front of 300 people. But I remember that dinner, and I remember that the check came, and we were looking around.
Who took it?
We checked Celebrity Net Worth, and
did you?
Did I pay?
Or did Spade?
You paid. But I almost always
did?
pay.
I can't remember.
I was kind of.
I have a picture of us from that night. Let's look at a clip.
Yeah.
Let's put that on Instagram.
Yeah. People. Maybe it was. It should have been. It was a pretty solid Thursday.
This might be kind of awkward, but I'd like to do another long McCartney thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, all right.
I'd like to do the last 15 minutes of my special.
The other thing I did want to mention, because I do have to promote something, is I put out this book for charity. I had the first book, Sick in the Head, and the money goes to 826, which is a charity that gives free tutoring to kids. Like kids could just walk in this place and they get free tutors.
My wife comedy books to kids.
We pay a lot of money for that tutor.
Is a tutor.
Yeah.
And when I was doing SNL, she would tutor kids downtown.
And
underprivileged kids, my wife Paula.
Yeah, and that's what
I thought,
this
how
is.
in the hell do you know how to teach someone English? Because she went to a good Catholic school. I mean, could you teach English to a kid, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old? I mean, I build the grammar and know what a dang participle is?
I barely got my kids through anything school-wise, and there were many tutors involved. So this book pays for these centers. We give all the money away. And so the new book, Sicker in the Head, has like, Sacha Baron Cohen and Nathan Fielder and Whoopi Goldberg and Letterman.
So what's the general narrative of it?
The narrative of it is that during the pandemic, I realized that everyone was home and available to do this.
Yeah.
So all these people that I thought wouldn't normally do an interview with me had no excuse to say no because I knew they were home.
See, that's the thinking.
And so I called, Lin-Manuel Miranda and Letterman and people like that might normally be too busy.
And they have no excuse.
Yeah, and also it's kind of an emotional interview because everyone was really thinking about their lives at the time. So the book
and be more vulnerable. Could I make an observation?
Yeah, please.
During the pandemic, I did the sourdough, I did the puzzles, I did Scrabble, watched a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You made a movie and wrote a book.
Yes.
Should I talk to a therapist? I mean, what
I
the
did
fuck
a
was I
Wordle.
think I had 2 years to do something.
Yeah. I realized that at least because I'm promoting the book, the movie, and then in May, me and my friend Michael Von Figlio made a 2-part George Carlin documentary for HBO.
Of course you did.
So I thought maybe I had a nervous breakdown for 2 straight years.
And work was the way to deal with it.
I guess, because at the time it didn't feel like I was working that much, but probably
But you were busy.
I was.
You seem to be
just a
always
worker.
shooting. Yeah. And to stop in your tracks on a dime, like one day we were working that show Lights Out and they go, just going for the weekend and we're going to have no audience on Monday, which we thought was weird. And then even that fast, by Monday.
Yeah.
Don't come back in. We have a 2-week lockdown, and we're in the third year of our 2-week lockdown. So,
and I used to listen to all of your interviews with the cast of Tiger King.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because you got everybody.
I know, it's so weird.
And you got that reporter who had all his tapes burned.
Oh, yeah.
That was an incredible interview with that guy. He was like, this stuff actually isn't funny. They're really just torturing and killing all these animals. And he was the only one who really told the truth.
Dana,
about
you don't
it.
even know. I did a deep dive. I was the Wolf Blitzer.
I remember
of
the Tiger King interviews.
Yeah, it was just
like
sort of
Pentagon Papers.
I just hit them up on Instagram. Some of these people, we just found them and said, "Do you want to do it?" And they go, "It was mostly because of Joe Dirt."
Yeah. Oh, because they
all like Joe Dirt. Yeah. So they go,
"Oh, they feel like you look like him."
I'm one of them, and I'm not going to go after him. And I didn't really. I let them tell their story.
Joe
and their
Dirt
journey.
is huge in sort of the whatever you call that part of the country.
The world,
rednecks. The world.
Yeah,
well, I'm in your house. Something paid off.
Well, because I have 7 Joe Dirt posters on the way to the podcast.
So
room.
the Tiger King himself loves Joe Dirt.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I never really chased after trying to play him because it was kind of like Joe Dirt and it didn't seem that fun or appealing. But it was so fun to watch it during then and be a part of it all. And it was it was like the first big thing during the break.
Have you seen the new one? I mean, one just came out with Kate McGinnon and
John Cameron Mitchell.
Have you?
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. that's fascinating. But I actually really enjoyed those interviews because you went deep with everyone. So we watched this thing, which always felt watered down. When I watched it, I always thought, this is so much worse than this.
Yes.
And then you would get real conversations with people where they laid it out. So I implore everyone to go down that. That's a good YouTube well to watch.
Yeah, they were nice. I'm like, when that tiger chewed off your arm, did you feel that? Were you allowed to take a lunch break after?
She went back to work after that.
Yeah, she did. She went back. That was interesting. I was like, yeah.
It's interesting how things become such cultural phenomenon, so like a wildfire, like Squid Game after that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Netflix now. Just like, boom, everyone has to see it. Everyone talks about it. A fury, frenzy. And then, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm fascinated by George Carlin. What did you do in a documentary? Okay, Bubble. So when's Bubble come out? The Bubble?
April 1st.
April 1st. The book is out now.
The book you can pre-buy now.
And then the documentary about George Carlin.
May 21st.
What did you take away from that? What did you discover about George Carlin that you might not have known? What was your sense after doing a deep dive on him?
I didn't really know that much about him because he never mentioned his family in his act. He had no jokes about his wife or his daughter.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I don't know him.
Sure.
How could I even
was he a
tell this
weirdo
story?
or was he pretty normal?
Well, he was a guy that grew up in New York. His dad used to, beat up his older brother, and there's a lot of alcoholism. And the mom ran away with the kids and moved to upstate New York in the 50s, and maybe even the late 40s. And then she had to raise him alone. And then he loved like radio and Danny Kaye and got into everything through that. But the fascinating part is, he had a very corny career in the beginning. Very
hippy-dippy weatherman.
Very variety show for a while.
Yeah.
And then at some point, like Richard Pryor, he just became himself and grew a beard and long hair and got very edgy. Then he kind of ran out of gas and got soft again, had a heart attack. And talked about his stuff, and those bits were great, but also very soft. And then he saw Kinison, and this is the thing we learned.
Was Kinison the hook?
That he saw Kinison, and he said, I'm not going to be soft compared to him. And then he went, for the rest of his life, he just really Kinison.
You Were All Diseased is a
Are you talking about post like the 7 words? That was pretty
like
heyday,
late 90s. He went really angry.
I didn't even know that.
Still funny. At least You Were All Diseased is really funny.
Like really dark. But also the reason why we made it was because if you go online, whenever anything happens in the news, George Carlin trends, and people are putting up clips of his bits about America or about Big Pharma or abortion or corporate America controlling politics. And you realize, unlike most people whose acts age out and they don't really work anymore. No one listens to Lenny Bruce anymore. His stuff gets better, and he kind of predicted everything.
He's smart.
That's happening.
Yeah.
I saw him at 14. We used to listen to albums, Steve Martin and everyone. Yeah. And then George Carlin was in the mix, and I was like, this guy's fucking funny. No aspiration to be a comedian.
Yeah.
It was too high up, too good. It was just more
I saw him at
kids like comedy,
Here's an example of a line, or just hitting it like, everyone's into the children. We got to save the children. We love the children. You know what I say? Fuck the children. Fuck the children. You go in the classroom, there's one winner and a whole lot of losers. Yeah. I mean, it was just so politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Check it out. You're All Diseased. Available on RCA Records.
I think another line of that is like, have you ever noticed that everyone who's against abortion is someone you wouldn't want to fuck?
These motherfuckers, these stinky motherfuckers in their fucking tank tops. Let's get them in a field, put them on a pedestal, and shoot them in the fucking head.
You would say that?
Stuff like that. I'm loosely paraphrasing.
No. He went hard. And in the documentary, everyone debates, did he go too dark? And
did it get to like just an angry guy as opposed to an angry guy being funny?
I mean, some people love it, and there are people in the documentary, comedians, some who say they like it, and some people say, I think he lost it for a little while.
How did he pass away?
He'd had heart attacks.
He had a lot of heart problems, and I think he did a lot of cocaine for a long time. It feels like maybe he had some sort of
stroke
OCD or attention issues that led to the fact that he would do a lot of cocaine and not hang out with people. He would just write. He loved to write. He loved words, and he would listen to music. But there were a lot of years where he was doing that. I mean, we have audio of him talking into tape recorders in the middle of 3-day binges by himself. That's
wow.
That's pretty scary.
And people would sometimes go up to him and go, "Any advice?" And he would just say, "Write everything down." That was it.
Yeah,
because he was a master of word for word.
Yeah, he didn't like riff on stage. He didn't play on stage. He
was poetry.
It was like like he wrote like a show and had to memorize it. When I saw him, he would just sit before the show just trying to memorize it and do it perfectly. And if someone yelled something out, he was not cool with it. He wanted to
just keep going.
To
and
run it.
His lists, his hooks, big shoes, little shoes, brown shoes, black shoes, boy shoes, girl shoes, shoes. Everyone needs shoes, tall shoes, boot
Jumbo,
shoes. You know, and he would make these crazy lists, and he's in his 70s, had a couple strokes, and he's just like so articulate.
It's a hernia,
brilliant, you know.
And what is it? A hernia and a she.
Oh, I know the bit that you're talking about.
It should be called a hymnia.
Yeah. Well, what we saw was that there was a period where people got bored of him for a little while. And so on Second City TV, Rick Moranis would do this brutally mean impression where he would say things like that and do like, you know, George Carlin starring in Death of a Salesman. And they would make fun of him. And there was a moment where Cheech from Cheech and Chong said, George Carlin's over. All he talks about is things like peas. Well, you know, eating your peas. And then that really bothered him, and it made him redouble his efforts. So where most people might cave in,
he just went
hard and said, okay, now I got to show you all.
I waited on him at the Circle Star, or at the Holiday Inn near the Circle Star Theater.
Wow.
Brought him a bowl of oatmeal, put it in front of me, and goes, "Oatmeal. Drop the O and you have atmeal." I said, "Give it a rest, George." No, but he did.
There's no blue
I did
food.
bring him oatmeal.
There's blueberries. Oh, yeah.
Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries.
There's no blue food. There's blueberries.
Bananas.
Oh, all right, scratch that one.
You know, I just have that theory that eventually almost everyone becomes a caricature of themselves in the arts. You know, like Johnny Carson had kind of... Or you'd watch someone and go, is that an impersonator or the person? Because you have your hooks and you have your things, and then eventually you
get exposed.
And that's when I pounce later on when they're sad and used up. Then I rub it in their face. But at least I'm honest.
Anything left for Apatow? I have one.
One last question. How do you spell Apatow? Because I worked for the IRS.
One P.
One P.
And your mom drove a red
Did they
Corvette.
tease you as a kid with Apatow? Hey, it's Judd Appetizer. Did you get any of that? Or?
No.
I had Dana Car Keys.
It didn't rhyme.
Dana Car Keys?
Dana Car Keys fucked
Why
with me.
did I think
but
of that?
Judd Appetizer, that's what I would have said.
No, I remember they used to call me the nose.
Oh,
there were things like
good
that.
Job.
It's always weird when people are anti-Semitic when every single kid in your high school is Jewish, but they're still anti-Semitic.
That's the worst.
Just pick you to go
I'm
out.
a self-hating white person.
Yeah.
Everyone can't help bullying. It's so funny about bullying is bullying is worse than it's ever been, and all the data is in. It's bad. You know, like we think, I guess we fixed it.
It makes you stronger. That's good for you, kid.
It's unreal.
It crushes your soul.
It's so
I just wonder if
bad.
I was a kid and I was like 10, 11 years old and like Twitter existed, would I be one of those asshole kids just trying to give everyone shit? Because if I go on it, there's always like people who are trying to find my wound, and
to get you a response.
Yes, and if you do respond, they're always like, "Oh my god, I'm your biggest fan," no matter how
and then they
cruel
start
they
crying
were.
if you respond. Yeah,
But would I have been one of those kids? Because I think I would have found it funny potentially to just give people shit.
I think you might have been until you thought it tipped a kid over into self-harm. I don't think you seem like too nice.
No, I mean attacking like a someone in the public sphere.
Oh, I see.
You know, would I have?
People say mean things, and if I block them, someone will say, "Hey, don't block my friend. He loves you." And you go, "It was the meanest," and they go, "He's being funny." But you can't even tell when people are funny that your friends are texting you. You can't tell the tone sometimes. Yeah. So you don't know what's going on. And then when someone you don't know is like, "Hey, fuck you," you suck. And then you go, "Oh, okay, well, I don't need that guy." And
What's
goes,
the
I was
general-
being funny.
Yeah.
What's the general meanest thing they say? You know, if anyone can find tape of Dana Carvey being funny, I'd like to see it. Or what, you know, there's certain generic
Is there tape of
put downs for comedians. No, but there's this podcast and you've got a partner.
All right,
Like
let's
if I promote something, they'll just say, "I'll watch it if you'll cut an hour out of it."
So that's
This is 40
how
minutes
long
too
is
long.
the bubble?
Yeah.
Which is out when
Solid 2 hours.
Okay,
Solid 2 hours.
You know,
2 hours and out.
Some people want 90 minutes, but the other 30 is the same price.
I did Master of Disguise, and then we had to cut it down to 58 minutes because it didn't even make
It's not even
sense. It
legal.
wasn't even a language because you bailed out. You were going to do a Sandler film called Mr. Pete or Sneaky Pete or something.
Oh, Puka Pete.
Puka Pete. And then you got mad at you or Fred Wolf had a falling out. So then I was in line, so I did a read through, and they go, Carvey, you got to go in a week. But anyway, I go, it's not
Puka
even a
Pete.
movie.
Oh,
It doesn't even. It's just words on a piece of paper. But
We have the crew.
It was cut to 58 minutes, and then it has 12 minutes of fake outtake, so it had to be a certain length. Anyway, that's my experience with film. But The Bubble comes, I like to promote May
April 1st.
April 1st, April Fool's Day.
On Netflix.
The Bubble on Netflix.
Yep.
Love it.
Sicker in the Head,
lot of laughs.
out now, Judd Apatow.
2 nights ago. You saw it.
No, I got fucked. I didn't want to tell. I really sat down to watch it last night.
Oh, yeah.
I had it on the Netflix.
You had your
went
code.
for the PIN number.
Yeah.
And couldn't find an email. Talked to
That's
these
what happens
guys.
to 90% of the people we send it to. But you were able to watch it.
You got in.
And what did you?
Listen, I'm a guy
did you
that
enjoy it?
I did a Wordle in under 2 hours
it?
yesterday.
Did you get through it?
I got through it.
No, did you get through it, David?
Yeah, give me anything.
Do you have any notes? I can
What
change
about
some
the ending?
things.
What did you think of that trick ending?
Yeah.
Oh, where everyone was at? where
what's the
everybody wrapped
ending?
it up?
Come on, folks.
No,
You got to see the first part of the
I
second
can't
part
say the
too.
ending. I just started to say the
No.
word helicopter. I said a couple things. No, but they. I like Keenan. I thought Keenan Mike was funny. I thought your daughter did a great job. And
My
she's
daughter
good.
played your daughter in Love. That's the funny thing.
She was great. She was very fun
Yep.
on the set and very non-bratty. And she looks totally different. She's very actressy, different haircut, plays a TikToker, and has millions of followers. They're all stuck in the bubble. That looks like a castle. Is that a hotel? I mean, where did you do that?
It's called like Cliveden. I guess there's a famous scandal there where like someone in the government had an affair there. There's like a Hugh Grant movie
Haunted
about
kind
it.
of house.
The Beatles shot Help there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you did over there?
Full circle.
Yeah.
Oh, who was the first AD that looks like James Bond a little bit? Daniel Craig.
The first AD that looks like
No, he's a studio guy. Who's the guy that comes in? He's always standing in every scene.
Peter Serafinowicz.
Okay.
Oh, he's hysterical. He played the Tick in that TV show.
That was the answer to my Wordle question
There's
yesterday.
another jaw impression.
So anyway, we'll
I'm
close
doing
it with
your
this.
Johnny
Judd
Carson.
Apatow's here. Does a lot of great movies. Directs, Bruce's, writes.
I would have read all your movies, but everyone knows them. They're all
Writes
fucking
books.
monster
If
hits.
there's a pandemic or an earthquake, he just goes right into work mode. I don't know what it is.
He calls Scott Stuber after the big one. We should do an earthquake movie. He's like, well, nothing works right now, Judd.
Judd, it's been a
Judd,
pleasure.
thank you for coming.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming and being in-house. We got to have a
Yeah, we're
nickname
in the
for
house.
this.
We're in Spade's house.
You know
And I'm
why
gonna-
I came? Last thing? Because I don't like hearing this Zoom sound. Let's get people on real microphones.
love
And we've
it.
had 2 years to figure this out.
That's a director that does movies.
I
Knows
totally
all about
agree.
sound.
It's a little bit like comedy waterboarding when you do it on Zoom.
All
You're
right.
can't
You
hear
guys, I
yourself.
want to show you one of
I
my
have one
5
more
pantries.
thing to say, David.
That's it. Let's go. Hey, what's up, flies? What's up, fleas? What's up, people that listen? We want to hear from you and your dumb questions.
Questions, ask us anything. Anything you want.
You can email us at flyonthewall@cadence13.com. Hey, Dana. Hey, David Spade. The question is, this is from Uvaldo
Garcia.
My question is there a common denominator to which SNL alum go on to be megastars and which don't? Or is it as simple as having great characters that capture America's attention? Or is it something deeper? This is a 12-parter.
Well, first of all, if we knew how to become megastars, we would be megastars.
You think we're holding back on that one?
Yeah. We went to the megastar symposium with Tony Robbins was teaching it. You gotta get it. And his hands were as big as my whole body.
I accidentally went to the mega store, Costco.
And I would just say that there's an intersection between talent and the marketplace, and it's when you're young and naive, you go, well, the best band will be the biggest band.
Yeah.
That only happened once, and that was the Beatles.
Yeah.
And the funniest guy will also make the most money. So get rid of all that. It's
I
just
can
how
go to
you
the comedy
intersect.
store and see 3 people funnier than me. It's just, and they're not doing as well as me as showbiz wise, but it's a combination of a million things. So if you're doing well, it's a lot of it's luck, but I think you have to bring it over and over and over because everything's a fucking audition. People can lose faith in you somewhere along the way and go, you don't got it.
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
Now people go on live streaming movies and no one knows if it bombed or whatever. But back in the day, a movie star, if that person had 2 bombs in a row, you kind of had to go back in line and then wait a lot of years. But again, all you can go back to is trying to do a good job at whatever you're doing. But a megastar, has a mega mansion.
There's not that many left. It's me, Dana, and then I can't even think of anyone.
Megastars they don't talk about the security, cybersecurity, physical security. Everyone treats them weird. I don't know about the goal of megastar as opposed to like just being funny and employed. I don't know. Did you ever dream about being a megastar?
Pitt, I feel like has a tough life, and he would never say it himself, but I feel like just everywhere you go, if you connect eyes with someone, they go, that's fucking Brad Pitt. And they don't know how to act and they get weird. And even when he meets other celebrities, they freak out. So that's being a mega when you're in a room with other celeb types.
It's too much energy in the room, and I get starstruck by fame. I mean, with Brad Pitt, you know, if I met him, he'd go, we're going to go over here and get some pizza. I go, that's a good plan. I like what you're doing. I like being on your podcast, David, because you got good witticisms. I'm Brad Pitt. I'm chiseled. I'm tan. No, but being a sex symbol, and I'll let David speak to this. Being a sex symbol has a different energy. There's a megastar, just goofy comedian, but then there's a megastar who's a sexual star. Then you get guys or weirdos in your bushes hiding out. It's
for women especially.
I'm so glad that I never reached megastar status. That's all I'm saying.
I hate that I reached it so early.
I can go to the grocery store and no one cares. I take the mask off, the hat off. I go, hey, everybody.
I went the sexual stars route, which was stupid early on.
He was a porn star for a wee bit of time.
And then I went back to, I just wanted to see I don't remember what my old life was. I'm going to be a busboy again. No, I don't know. That's a stupid answer, but thank you for asking a question. And we've been Dana and David, and we've been dumb.
Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13.
Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes.
Executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment. Production and engineering led by Greg Holtzman, Richard Cook, Serena Regan, and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.
I can't do the third shift of hot dogs. I used to have a couple in the beginning, a couple 5 innings later. Now I can't.
Is there an eating clock?
What? You eat 4 hot dogs in a game?
You fat ass. Jesus. Dodger dogs are 2 feet long.
The game means nothing. It's all about the relish and the mustard.
It's settling in and eating. That's the beauty. And you probably have a waitress.
Well, that's the best place to have a hot dog is a baseball game.
Hey, Dana.
What's up?
Welcome to Superfly.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a haircut later today.
Oh, you are? Let's not bury the lead.
It's just
a little shaggy.
It's just a little bit much. I need more face, less hair. You know, if the hair's too bouffanty, then, you know. So anyway, I know it's exciting for the people listening. But
no, listen, I suffer a little bouffanteism now and then, but right now mine's sort of scraped back. My room is a hair darker than yours, so save it, YouTube. We don't want to hear that. And also, I do take sips of water sometime, and I actually hate it myself to see it. So I'm sorry, people watching, but sorry, I'm just trying to live.
No, I think that's a good thing. No, I just so I went to the dentist.
Okay.
And usually at some point when I go to the dentist or the doctor will say, wow. At some point when they're checking me out or doing diagnostics, they say, wow.
Mean something's wrong or something?
Something's blowing their mind. So I went to this guy before and he did a diagnostics on my teeth. And then I went in to get a crown, which, you know, was kind of, you're like the king for a day.
Sure.
And, you know, I said, you're going to say, wow, at some point today. And he goes, oh, come on, don't be silly. So they numb you and then I swear to God, the drill was doing Beethoven's Fifth. Or it was sounding like it was crying. Like I've stopped the drill. So anyway, then under his breath at one point, after he got down, got all that stuff out, he goes, wow. So then he announces to me, you got 2 nerve endings down there. I can't put a crown on it. It's all 3D. You can see the tooth. It looks all shiny and ready.
I can see them hanging out of your mouth right now.
It's all
look like ropes
right back here. And so, so he says there's 2 nerve endings full of bacteria that are about to explode. So you need a root canal stat.
Oh.
So today, after this, I'm going to get a root canal. I don't quite know what they do, but I know they numb it up pretty good. So that's exciting.
Fucking sucks, whatever it is. I don't think I've had one.
Oh, you've had a root canal.
I don't think I've had shit. My teeth aren't great, but they're kind of, at least they're working right now, but I don't have tons. I used to have those silver fillings, more boring stories, but they found out those are bad for you, whatever. So they jack them out. It's another scam. The dentists go, let's say they're good for you, and then let's say we got to take them out. They get paid both ways. They got you coming and going.
No, you just look good.
But you
smile big.
I'm not really about my teeth. Well, I kind of have buck tooth.
Well, here why my stuff's not so great. So I had buck teeth. I was going to be called Bucky. And so they said, you got to get braces. Parents at first couldn't afford the bottoms. So the guy literally said to me, I'm sure I've said this on the podcast, can you just get a habit of pushing on this tooth to push it back? Because we can't afford the bottom. Finally, my parents, 5 kids, teacher salary, scraped together, got the braces. But first they said, let's pull 4 of your teeth, 2 up here and 2 here. So that's why I have a small mouth and a little like this. Otherwise, it'd be like fantastic. And then I got shitty braces. By the time I never brushed or flossed, I don't know how you floss with braces. I had headgear. When they came off, I had like 7 cavities. And from then on, I've had to take care of my teeth. But luckily,
they find full candy corns in it. They aren't even chewed, jammed in it.
No, but how do you brush?
I had braces. It's horrible. I had the kind you hit on with a little hammer. You probably had that too, like a rubber hammer. Deesh. No wonder my neck's fucked up. And then they never take them off. And then I had the rubber bands, which are horrible.
Yeah, those and the head thing, the headgear, which was hard.
I had a key in there on a retainer during SNL to open the upper palate.
Oh, you had it later in life. I
had them early, and then we botched it. Because my mom got it out of the yellow pages. It was get braces and a free balloon. It was probably $100. So we had no money. So I get these shitty braces. My teeth were like this. And then they go, we got to get 4 wisdom teeth out. They took them out, and this will make you fucking puke.
I did get
those.
But
when I come home like this, way too much everything. As a kid, you've never had even aspirin. I haven't had anything.
Yeah.
And so I come home like, hello, darkness. And then they go to sleep. And I had 4 impacted. So they're all smashed with gauze. They go, change your gauze. So in the middle of the night, I go, I throw it in the sink. I put new ones in. And the next day I'm bleeding so much I'm sick. She runs me down there. They go, he almost died. He pulled all of his stitches out in the middle of the night.
You did.
I ripped everything out. I had to go do it again.
Because you were...
I just went in my mouth and went, rah. Sick. Sickening. Pukeable. Mm-hmm. So I would have gotten hooked on Vicodin then. I didn't have time though. But I did get aspirin and then whatever. And I didn't have any pain pills.
Yeah.
Advil now I take a lot.
I don't like general anesthesia. I said, just numb me up. And they go,
do you do gas?
No, I just do the shots. And they go, and it's like, this is a joke I used to do on stage. You go, a dentist having sex. All right. You're going to feel a little prick. Sorry. That's all I got.
And then maybe some little balls.
I don't know. When you're starting out, kids, you're just anything that gets a laugh. You're not thinking what your peers think. But no, I don't.
I will tell you, I had an adventure. Plus, I hope you're okay today because we need this thing to keep going.
Oh, it's going to be fine. It's modern dentistry.
If you need a ride, let me know.
All right.
Oh, you do?
I'll hit you up. Yeah. And I want to sit in the back because I get car sick after dental work. So I want to look like you're my chauffeur driving me through West Hollywood and just having people honk and go, look, I guess Dana hires David Spade to be his driver.
Yeah. Things have really switched. You go like this. Here's you. I'm driving, and then I'll just film you like this. And then I'll ask you questions and watch you go, oh, like they do on TikTok.
Modern dentistry is no big deal. Don't worry about it. I did get a cavity once where I didn't do the numbing, and I wouldn't do that again. That was hard.
Fuck, that wouldn't even cross my mind.
An idiot.
All right, so here I am this weekend. I went down, finally get to golf because I did 6 or 7 weekends on the road straight.
Jeez.
It is a bit of a grind, but
what do you do with all that money? Okay, go ahead.
I have Atlantic City coming up in a week. I have Reno and I have Sacramento. Okay, so but those are fun. Those are just like fun ones, and maybe a corporate. But so here I am. I get to golf. It's finally decent weather. So I'm in Newport.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out there. Anyway, there's helicopters, which aren't always on the golf course. The golf course is kind of by the water. So that's the nice proximity of it all. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they're so hot. They're so close that you're like, okay, move. I don't know what's going on. And we're getting mad because it's so loud, whatever, over, for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's not usually, the idea of the golf course is to keep it quiet. So then I leave and I see a couple of cops when I'm checking out, and I drive by them and I go, hey, what was going on with those helicopters? They go, oh, we had a boatload of migrants come on the beach and they all ran, and they ran on the golf course. So they're all chasing, and it's a whole thing going on around us. And I was like, who is our caddy? No, I'm kidding. But someone threw on overalls and jumped in. But
did
so they're running around.
You see them running? You see?
No, they were on the course next to us. They were running all over.
And that was all the stuff. Oh,
it was yeah. But they, by the way, I would have grabbed a cop and said, give me that free phone and give me that stuff and let me get out of your way. Because why are you running? So they just come right on the beach and they go, this happens sometimes. And I go, where'd they go? And they go, I don't know.
Well, that blows open the whole idea of we got to close the border. Now we should close the beaches first.
You have to close.
Most you come don't need a wall. And Point Magoo or something. They're
Point Magoo.
They're storming Point Magoo.
Aunt Blabby.
A perfect
isn't safe.
Word.
Yeah, listen, it was just sort of funny to me because I thought, these Keystone cops are spinning around and everyone's running around, but we don't know anything. I wish we would have known at the time. Would I be scared? I don't know if I'd be scared, but I just thought I would help.
I think they're probably just desperate to meld into the population. If it's like The Great Escape with Steve McQueen or something, it's like they just want to get past everything and meld into
the guy runs up to me, need a fourth? We're like, oh, sure. I'm going to play through. And he grabs a club.
He shoots a 62,
And he's really good. And then it's a movie because he's so good.
Yeah, he's just a natural. I can't do the accent, but whatever accent it would be. By the way, only 25% of people of Mexican or heritage are coming across the border. 75% is from other countries. Just a fun fact for our listeners.
That's a longer hike, though. Yeah, I would think Mexico because it's right there.
Right. I don't know.
It's not Canadian, is it?
We're going to take them out. We're going to deport 300 million people. Excuse me, sir.
You're going too. You're going to get caught up in the net. Just grab you accidentally.
The rhythm I love of Trump, and I've been doing it, but when I see him do it, when he goes to the gruff thing, it's such a funny thing. He's just talking like this, and a lot of people said we'll do it. And then he sees the energy's going down a little bit in the stadium, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it. That's so hard. And you kind of lean in when he does that. So, but Biden's my guy right now. He's my guy. So,
yeah. Also, okay. So in the news, I saw that Tom Brady, his ex-wife is Giselle. I don't know. Did you know this? Giselle, she's a supermodel. They call them supermodels now. And
she's a supermodel. It's better than a regular model.
So she gets pregnant.
She's pregnant with the karate instructor or martial arts instructor.
His whole life is just you're the karate guy, yeah. So they go off, and I like that they keep saying she's going to raise the baby in her $11.5 million home. They don't just say it's a nice house. 11.5.
Well, why wouldn't they round it up to 12 million?
They should do something because it's actually just
that's
funnier.
homework for my brain. I don't need to.
It's so much millions. Of
okay,
house.
So for people who just came in from Mars, Tom Brady was married to Giselle Bundchen, who's a supermodel for decades. She's still gorgeous, in great shape, and
everyone's gorgeous involved in this photo, in this marriage. And you know what the 2 dots over the U in her name are called? Do you know, Dana? Do you know, Heather?
They're called a thing like a semicolon or something.
They're called an upsilon, I think.
Okay, so
cut to YouTube comments. Brrr, wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, but then Tom Brady posts this Instagram the next day.
Can the child within my heart rise above? Okay.
Why?
Well, I get that.
Go ahead. What?
Well, because just human, male, female, forget this trio of dandies, these buttes. Just think of the human thing of being instinctually even proprietary over an ex in some ways. There's left vestigial feelings about that. So
vestigial,
leftover feelings. Yes. Scottsdale Community College gets dominated by College of San Mateo. So the point would be, Tom Brady is asking himself, can he just be magnanimous, be happy for them, be a good stepdad or whatever to the child? He's at, or he can be petty, reflexively jealous, not wishing them well. These are like just human things that he's trying to rise above. Your take. That's my hot take.
Jesus, you got a lot from those
to people who are driving around. Can the child within my heart rise above? ? 3 hearts. There's 3 people involved. The chop guy.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Giselle and Tom.
Well, is it those 3, or what about the karate guy? Is that 4?
Well, I put chop guy. Okay, we'll call him. No,
listen,
he's a jiu-jitsu champion.
There's the Hi-Ya guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hi-Ya. Do people still say Hi-Ya? Okay, so it's that, and it's also. But now he has a kid with Bridget Monahan, correct?
And then 2 with Giselle. I'm ashamed to report that
I'm
I know
ashamed
these
you
things.
Don't know.
No, I'm ashamed that
That's
I know. What am
sadder,
I?
Yeah.
Should be reading history books.
Yes. Yeah. So that, and then so there's another kid, and this is from Landslide,
the
song, right?
Yeah. Can you put your best foot forward? How does it go?
And if I see my, what if the next Instagram is, and if I see my reflection, snow-covered hill.
See my reflection. I'm doing Bruce Springsteen as Stevie Nicks.
Yeah,
Stevie Springsteen. Here, Heather, and I see my reflection. I'm Bruce Springsteen, and I'm not a billionaire. He announced this week that he's not a billionaire.
He did.
I spent too much money to be a billionaire. I am officially not a billionaire.
On what? Those same Levi's he's worn for?
No, he sold his catalog. Good for him for $500 million. But there's taxes.
He's fine. I'm not worried about him. There's a guy playing him now from The Bear. And
I know.
Does he look enough like him? I guess it's sort of just, it's not supposed to be. A lot of these biopics, they say, I just want the essence of the guy. I don't want to.
Well, if he's playing young Springsteen, when Springsteen really built himself up, with a tank top, really put on a lot of muscle.
That guy's jacked. Yeah.
And Jeremy Allen, why is that his name? Yeah, he's pretty built up. But yeah, Timothée Chalamet is playing Bob Dylan. I saw the trailer, and I think he'll be good at that.
Listen, as long as they're good-looking people, everyone's going to go. That's all that matters, really, to me.
Well, Timothy is a little bit closer to Bob Dylan in a sense of sort of, I don't know, kind of baby face or whatever, just shape
kind of lean.
Face. Yeah, lean.
Now, Dana, you've heard the song "I Can't Eat Another Hero,"
right? Or the song "We Don't Need Another Hero."
Yeah, but here we do.
Here we do.
Here on the podcast, because hero bread is kind of what you've all been waiting for. At least I have. Where I don't want to cut out bread. I don't want to stop eating rolls. No. I can't take it. I want them. That's all I care about in life. And now, because those aren't as good for you.
Right.
Give us a better bread that's still good and cut that stuff out.
Yeah.
And what do you got?
You got Hero bread. Mm-hmm. So it's basically 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, lots of fiber. So like during the holidays, you can really go crazy with the bread. You got grilled cheese, cozy pumpkin soup, buttery Hawaiian rolls with the family dinner, French toast casserole around the holidays. But now with Hero, it's guilt-free in a sense because it's low carb, low sugar, high in fiber, but tastes amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what do you want? I mean, you still get to eat bread. A lot of people just don't eat bread at all. They just have to cut it out. Mm-hmm. But if you could have it again, and it's not bad for you, it's actually good for you, then you got the low carbs, you got the fiber. So it's a plus. I mean, there's really no reason not to try it out.
The people from Hero Bread did a lot to give it texture, make it fluffier, taste and be like regular bread that's full of sugar and carbohydrates. So it's kind of like, I'm going to say it, a win-win.
Yeah. It's a strong statement, but yeah. And, also I eat croissants on the road sometimes because toast gets too squishy when if I did ever a room service or something, but they're coming out with croissants and they got some new surprises coming out. So Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order of their new recipe. Go to hero.co, use the code Superfly at the checkout. That's Superfly at HERO.co. The Menendez brothers, and I will safely say I haven't followed the whole. All I've heard is they might be out by Thanksgiving. So when are they hosting the show after Thanksgiving?
Yes, and how long after they step outside the prison will they be on Church Chat on Saturday Night Live?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Well. We did a naughty thing. Jesus doesn't like what we did with our parents. Now we're out. It writes itself.
Oh yeah.
I'm inviting them on Church Chat.
If they don't host somehow, if they're somehow not hosting, it will be played by who?
You know what? Look at guy on the right, because Mikey Day is pretty lean, and he could definitely play a Menendez brother,
because this is way
not
back.
Offensive to Mikey, but I could see.
No, I think I could see him.
Yeah, they're kind of lean, fit. I do think off the top of my head that the guy on the left, Eric, would be played by Colin Jost. I don't know.
Well, you might have to put the host in there. Who's the host?
Well, Eric and Lyle are not the host; they're just guests.
Now they're guests if they turn it down. they probably could pop up. Would it be a controversy if they come on?
No, I mean, they served their time. For whatever reason, they're being let out, and they promised not to
kill anyone.
They said, what we did before, we're not going to do again, Judge. And he said, case dismissed.
We realized everyone got mad about it. So
yeah,
but would people get mad if they came on SNL? And you understand it would be a great thing for SNL, it'd be fun. But would people at home, which it's controversy.
Pop quiz. Did OJ ever come on SNL? Of course, he was never convicted,
right?
So he could have come on.
He was convicted for the wrong thing that I would have gotten mad about. Someone stole his stuff and then he wanted it back. But he did a real no-no. Both, combined the sum of the parts.
Did Ted Bundy ever do a guest spot on Hee Haw?
Hee Haw was fucking big, but people don't know.
A Western Saturday Night Live or a Western Laugh-In, basically.
Yeah, Western sketches and songs.
I remember Bernie Burlstein going, because
he produced it, didn't he?
Yeah, and he goes, they take hee-haw money just as they take any other kind of money in London. Money's money. It doesn't matter, because people look down their noses at hee-haw.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to, whatever show. Saturday
Bernie
Night Live.
did Alf also, right?
A puppet makes money. Rule number 2. No, we love Bernie, but Bernie was old-time show business to us.
Muppets, puppets, any sort of puppets.
Actually, we have a show called The Uppets. They can be a Muppet or a puppet, and it covers all bases.
It's all funny. Okay, let's do more headlines because we've got a guest today, so we got a couple more.
We got to get to our guest.
Oh, yeah. Why are we what? Oh, Who wants to know that? Oh, we're talking about trick-or-treating. Well, unfortunately, we taped this the second before Halloween happened. So this is costumes that I thought were funny I saw. This is a person dressed as a foot.
A foot in a
foot. So for those of you at home, there's
It's a foot in a thong. Is that what are those called? Those shoes?
A thong shoe.
A thong shoe.
Nowadays,
not
you say
the undergarment.
Thong.
Yes. And that shit. They have a big red toe, and it's a little crooked.
Is a G-string different than a thong, Heather?
No.
But those are beach thongs. They're called thongs as well as underpants.
They used to be called something else that we can't say anymore, but they're called flip-flops, let's say.
Oh, they're called flip-flops now.
It's a guy dressed
as
in a flip-flop, standing up in a flip-flop. Mm-hmm. Painting it's too hard to describe. It's funny though. I think it's funny. Horrible costume to walk around in. Horrible.
I'll announce the best costume. My older brother in New York went to a costume party like this. And so what he did was he just put all these, with rope or whatever, he put mirrors all over his whole body and all around him. And people would say, "Who are you going as?" And he says, "I'm going as you." Because they would see their reflection.
I can see my reflection in the other guy's costume.
Okay,
here's one. This is the Olympic pole vaulter.
And that's
remember his wiener?
And that's the costume.
You got it. I think the hard part about this is, you can't get a rod because the pole will fall. But also the pole, he made it just long enough where it's a hassle, but it's not totally debilitating to bump into people.
Right. It might be funnier if it was 10 foot across.
Yeah.
Like the real pole vaulter. I would be the pole vaulter in the pit and just have wheels on top of the pit and just roll around as pole vaulter when they land in the pit.
You just want to be the pit?
Well, look, I mean, there is no more...
look.
Look, there's no more sexual sport. In high school, guess who got the girls? The pole vaulters. They're going down the runway. Course. They're very fast, very muscular. They've got this long phallic pole. They plant it. Then they climax over the bar and land in a bed. I mean, it's really, it shouldn't be allowed.
Jizz on the bed.
It should not be allowed in high school.
It's so perverted
Too
now that
sexual.
You say it. You should have the church lady talk about how bad the Olympics are.
That's pole vaulting is.
Yeah.
We like to take our pole. We grip it.
What are you for Halloween this year?
Skeletons in the closet.
Wait.
Oh, skeletons in the closet isn't
bad. How long
did it take you to make this? 1 month.
You're telling me you made this whole costume from scratch?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, that's good. Skeletons in the closet is good. I mean, that's a month of prep to go to a friend's party at a dorm in an apartment complex. That's a lot of work. I thought she was going to Heidi Klum's party.
Basically...
You're not impressed.
Halloween, really, what it's all about, David, just for a second here, is about 3 to 6-year-old kids who are jumping out of their seat. They're so excited to ring the doorbell. They have their costume. They say trick or treat, and they're adorable. I have trick or treat, I have candy, and they're
free candy.
And then as the night goes on, that's 6:30 or 6. And then by 9:30, you got like a 15-year-old kid, he's got a pillowcase. He's just ransacking.
And a gun.
He just puts sunglasses on. I'm a guy at the beach, and he's just grabbing and grabbing. And then eventually there's a guy with an Uzi that opens fire.
Yeah, I'm robbing you. Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. So, it's funny because there's schools now I read that they're banning Halloween parties because Halloween is bad. I don't know how it's bad, but it's bad. So I think they should just say, okay, let's just say it's a costume party at school and you get free candy. Because that's all it is really to 99% of the people. I don't really know what the bad part is, but it's something that is against someone. So if it is, fine.
8th graders like to do mayhem. And I've done that. Throw eggs. They want to have shaving cream. Right. They want to get people wet and crazed out. I was traumatized by Halloween because my parents moved October 31st. So my first day of kindergarten was Halloween. And so I'm late. I'm introduced to the class, and they all have crazy masks on, and they seem like scary. And I had no costume. We have to march around the playground, so they just gave me a plastic fireman's hat, and that was my costume. That's it. Never forgot it, man. Trauma.
That was your first like SNL sketch. You're like, I'm a fireman. You should have come as Wayne or Garth or the church lady or something.
I don't know.
You blew it. You blew it.
Are you going to man the door this year and pass out candy?
Dude, to come up this hill, no one's that strong unless Carrie Underwood comes up with her legs.
Dressed as the Tommy Boy guy?
Yeah, that's what I am. I did post a lot of people I like when they post costumes of something I did. There's a lot of Emperor's New Groove. There's Joe Dirt's actually... I take it, it's very flattering, but a lot of them are too easy. Oh, I did have one. I'll play it next week of a kid dragging a meteor around town. That was funny. He really got it.
Oh, really? That's funny. That's
around a whole town, and he's doing lines from the movie.
That is.
Yeah, but Joe Dirt is like flannel shirt, mullet, it's too easy. So there's bench warmers. That's kind of funny because one has a bike helmet on and one has a vest on. And then there's grown-ups, which... all you really need, it's really easy and lazy, but you just need one guy with a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket over his head. And then that sells it.
And then you're good.
The rest of it is Spade and cargo shorts. Well, you've got Wayne and Garth.
Well,
they can do
Garth,
church lady,
any woman, it's always a woman. Oh, there it is.
Oh, look at this kid. Okay.
Oh, cute. That's the age.
Not a million years.
Oh.
But just for laughs, let's see how much you're worth.
Yeah, it ain't a meteor.
Yeah, it is.
He walks slow like I do.
Well,
what is that, a tire?
But it ain't no meteor. It's a big old frozen chunk of shit.
What?
Oh,
This kid's milking
See, them
it.
airplanes, they dump their toilets 36,000 feet, and the stuff freezes and falls to Earth.
Okay.
We call them Boeing bombs.
No, that can't be. That's not what it is.
That's a space
No,
peanut.
afraid so. You see the peanut? Dead giveaway.
Yeah, that's a space peanut.
All right, that's enough.
Right now.
Yeah, I don't want to give away the whole movie.
It makes me like that movie because it's so ridiculous. Movies are fun, just so ridiculous.
I like that kid. He gets in. When you got the AC/DC shirt, there's people at Comic-Con that one guy has a really good one with a full overalls, full real meteor. I think it's a real meteor, Dan.
I gotta say, I'm just gonna insert this it's kind of one of the most flattering things you could do as a comedian doing characters in movies or on Saturday Night Live. And decades later, people and young people are dressing up as them. It's very flattering. It's like
I do love it. Yeah.
It lasted. I think that comedy, when I was coming through my formative years, Monty Python and stuff, bonding over comedy, really even more than drama, catchphrases and stuff.
For sure. Oh, when we were in high school, just all we cared about was comedy movies.
Yeah, totally.
So fun. Mm-hmm. All right, next one. What else? Running out of time. We're getting close to the end.
We're getting close to the end, folks.
We have a guest.
Go over.
Oh, is another costume? This is so weird. I don't know how they do it.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
What? Even better, he does that. Okay. No, don't get to figure it out.
No, I just did that last second. I just figured it out.
You did?
Well, his real feet are out the bottom.
What?
Is it a magic trick? I didn't get it.
Optical illusion, or is it a visual? It's a very good effect. Can we see it one more time?
Yeah.
For people who are just listening.
I like that he goes from that to standing up. That feels like a better trick.
That's pretty good. I'm not sure I totally figured it out.
Yeah, I like that you're like, oh, that old chestnut, and then you thought.
Well, I thought his left arm would be fake, but it didn't look fake. Like half his body would. Yeah. So it's an optical illusion, or it's a deep fake, or it's AI, or something. So
AI can really, when I look at Instagram, any news report about something can be an AI. They fake the voice now. Any photos of people can be AI. Anything they say. So. It's getting scarier to say this is real. This scares me. This doesn't. You just don't know 100% anymore.
Nope. The only good news is like within 3 or 5 years, Mike Myers and I could just be hanging out. What's up, man? Hey, let's go to the AI and just say the AI. Wayne's World 3 and just some silly plot. Click the button, and within 1 second, we'll have a 90-minute feature film. Will be digital copies of ourselves from 30 years ago, and the movie will be a hit.
I want to do hologram stand-up where we go on the road. You don't go on the road. You just do that. They get in there in their own house, or they get with people, and you appear on the stage and do your act.
They kind of.
I think that's going to happen.
That's happened. I think Todd Rundgren did.
I already did a tour. Yeah, it happened.
You can do it from one place, and it beams into all the living rooms. But yeah, hologram.
Beam me up, Dana.
Mm-hmm. You fight technology. You're more fearful of technology.
Every day.
You're like,
I go, no.
Quick impression of you fighting technology, 2024. Okay. I don't understand it. I can't believe it. It's too much for me. I don't like it. It's not my best.
Devil.
You're the devil.
Take it away.
You could do a quick impression of me too if you want.
Okay, here's Dana. That's you getting your root canal. Give me another liquid Vicodin. You got a Vicodin drip there like a gerbil.
Here's you watching me get the root canal with closed circuit. You found out where it was. You're watching me on a little TV screen in your mansion.
And then I press a button. More pain. Go deeper.
Less Novocaine. Fake Novocaine.
Yeah.
I don't think Dana. This is accurate of you, but it's kind of like
here's how fake your dentist is. That because you got the cheapest guy. So at the end he's running out. So he just melts down Advils and puts them in an iron. Then he goes like this, and then you get the steam of the steamed Advil.
Here's you with a closed circuit camera out in the parking lot, watching me just in pain, swollen up, going to my car. Heather, look.
Heather, help me look.
It's not my best impression, but it's just an impression. It doesn't have to be accurate.
That one stung because it was so accurate.
Here's an impression of you watching me kill at the Comedy Store.
No, here's me.
Here's you watching me do a bit at the Comedy Store and deciding that you might use it for your own act.
Oh, yeah. Here's me. Switch that word.
Word. He'll never know. Get laughs.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can generate those kind of laughs. But yeah. By the way, last night I went to the Comedy Store to say hi to Bobby Lee and Santino. They were
doing
together. And then, of course, I went up. Stage hog. So I went up, and it was pretty fun. Oh, you know what I did do, though, Dana?
We have all this new material that hasn't been exposed yet.
I got my drink, my water, because I do between jokes. I don't have to explain that. I go like this. Live fly buzzing in the water, live going in my mouth.
On stage.
Stopped it. Freaked out. Couldn't remember my act. I'm like, what do I do?
Did you tell the audience what just happened? You could do 10 minutes.
I did not. Isn't that funny? I did not.
You hid it from the audience?
I don't want to give away all my tricks. I just was like, I thought they'd be so grossed out because it was like this. It bumped my mouth. Sick. Dude, I couldn't even focus. I barely killed and barely got a standing ovation.
Did you just one standing ovation? Because that's a low bar. Ladies and gentlemen, David Spade is on the way to his car. Wait a minute, he's coming back out again.
What? Mm-hmm. When I did my special, they do, I think they did do a standing ovation, Heather, but I think if I might have earned it, but it went well, but I think they feel like they should.
Well,
they stood up when I came out. That's good.
Who doesn't?
But, it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, well, now you're like, they're thanking you for the years of fun.
3,000. The one before it was in Minnesota, which I loved, the theater.
Great crowds there. Yeah.
But it was about 3 years ago, and I couldn't hear my opener, Bobby, killing, and he usually does really well. And I'm like, oh no, they're a tough crowd. I told you this. So I go on, and they're like this, and then I'm not doing as well. And have you ever had a show that's important, and you're like, this is going to be a tough set, and we're not just at a comedy club. It's like a tough set when we're filming it. And so I'm working. And then I realized they're all on masks, but I didn't know. And so the laughs would be like, haha, but now they're like this.
You didn't know the audience was masked?
No, I said, oh, I don't want to. I said, they go, I think that one, because of COVID, I go, no, I don't want that. But then they never said, oh, you don't have any say in it. And I'm like, oh, is that why they weren't? And I was worried about so many other things. I go, I don't know if it was worth it. I did like the special. That's not the problem. It's just
special.
And they were a
great.
good crowd, but you can't hear it as much. And so there's more pausing because you're like, but this one's like
that's just
crowd.
Was not what comedy was built for, as a masked crowd.
Yeah.
Masks are
Even
for robbers or maybe magicians, but they're not for a comedy crowd.
Yeah, Nate did one during COVID, and he had everyone sit 10 feet away from each other.
Oh, rather than
I don't know if they had
up.
masks on, but they were all back, and it was just it was still funny. But that's just one where, like, now I get my special. Like Nate was like, "This will be great," and then it wound up being funny. But that's not the ideal situation. You just want a regular comedy, and this one was a regular theater, Denver. 2 shows, a lot of fun. So that's not even out. It won't be out for a while.
It must have been a blast having all that energy come at you. I did one
so
where,
much more fun.
It was sort of near a college, and a lot of the kids had free dental care. But anyway, a lot of them apparently had dental work the day that I was going to shoot my special. So a good amount of the audience had cotton in their mouth. and I couldn't really hear them, but I shot the special. But you ever have a set like that where you come out and they're just not laughing that hard, and halfway through you go, they had dental work today, it's free at the college, and all their mouths are full of cotton. And I go, why am I shooting this special in this situation? But I just did the best I could.
I shot a special, and I realized that they all had a pillow over their face.
I knew you were going somewhere. We go from mask to cotton. Okay, so why though, David? Let's just follow this scenario. Why would they all have a pillow over their face?
Well, that's a great question, because that day was a pillow fight they had on this campus, and then they were so tired they fell asleep face down in their pillows. But it was still a pretty good show.
I did a special in a sort of sketchy area of the country, and everyone in the audience had a hood over their over them. So and
let's look at a clip. I think we have a lot of clips for that.
They're actually the worst special is when the tickets just didn't sell and the whole theater was empty.
Oh,
and they
if
said
it's not full,
you got to shoot it anyway. You got to shoot it anyway. It was just one person out there, and his name was David Spade, and I thank you for that.
All right, we will go. Should we talk about? No, we'll go. Well, I'll talk about it next time. Okay, it's nice meeting you, Dana, and this is a really fun one. And let's bring on our guest right now.
Yeah, we have a great guest today. He's been on our podcast before, ladies and
He's
gentlemen.
In the waiting room for a half hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the one and only comedy legend, because he's had his fingerprints all over comedy for at least 2 decades.
From 40-Year-Old Virgin to Superbad, to
other movies and specials. Anyway, what can't this fella do? And he's going to tell us about his new charitable events coming up. It's just very cool of him.
We're going to talk about stand-up and everything fun.
And what is this person's name? Judd Apatow.
Yeah, there you go.
Apatow.
Apatow.
We still don't know.
You feeling fancy today?
I'm going to call you a legend.
Yes.
You like
I'm
that?
going to call you Apatudio.
You like that?
Apatudio.
Just for the amount of time you've been part of the American comedy scene.
We've been around a long time.
That's how
Judd,
you get. That's why you're a
quick
legend.
question. Enough about your credits. There are plenty. It looks like a CVS receipt. Now, Dane had a question about the baseball game. This will be on Friday. And so the games
it may be over, but I just wanted to make the comment, and you can answer the question. Baseball as a sport.
Yeah.
If you're going to, the guy who makes, I'm not going to pick on Aaron Judge, anybody who's on a cold streak, 19 strikeouts in a row, could you take a Judd, a David, or me put us in the same position, and then the team would be the same. Nothing would change. We wouldn't get a hit either. There's no other sport, baseball, basketball, you'd be killed. Baseball, basketball, football. But in baseball, I thought to myself, I can do as good as Aaron Judge is doing most of the time.
It's brutal, like when they get the yips. When like someone gets the yips and they can't pitch or.
What is it? Do you know baseball that well? I mean,
you go to the games. Someone said they saw you. Is that true?
I went to a couple of Dodger games, and I went, and the person who brought me said, "These are great tickets. You're right, behind the plate." And I'm like, "Oh no, does that mean like I'm on camera the whole time?"
Every second.
Like, no, it's just you're at the corner. It's pretty rare. I'm literally in the center the entire game for 3 hours. Me staring, not wanting to do what I normally do, which is like eat hot dogs and burgers and not pay attention. So I just sat there like frozen for 3 hours.
How far was John Hamm from you? What was where was the Rogues Gallery of proximity? Stars?
I did see Hamm. I saw Mary Hart. There was definitely some heart happening there.
God, how did she score that directly? She's in like the shot when they show the batter up close. She's like right next to the bat, she's in the tight shot.
There's a fold-up chair. If the ump is brawny enough, there's a fold-up chair right behind him. And I thought I saw Lorne Michaels sneaking a peek over the shoulder. Just one quick insert here. They know that, so sunflower seeds are big. I understand that. They know they're going to be seeing 50, 60 shots of the coach of the Yankees spitting out sunflower seeds. So they know it's coming. They're going to spit them out. It's just not a good look. I mean, what do you think about this? Because this is all over the web. I mean, this is blowing up.
Well, that's what I was like on camera. My whole thing was don't eat. Don't eat.
No, that's hard to tell Judd that.
Understand how much you eat, because now that they have the pitching clock, the game's faster. Right. So they rush the pitchers to pitch. So the game is like 40 minutes shorter, which means I can't do the third shift of hot dogs. I used to have like a couple in the beginning, a couple 5 innings later. Now I can't.
Is there an eating clock?
What? You eat 4 hot dogs in a game?
You fat ass. Jesus. Dodger dogs are 2 feet long.
The game means nothing. It's all about the relish and the mustard.
It's settling in and eating. That's the beauty. And you probably have a waitress.
Well, that's the best place to have a hot dog is a baseball game.
There's hard liquor. You get a seat that's close. Suddenly it's full on hard liquor.
The thing, Dana, when you go to these games, if everything goes wrong and you're totally bored, you can watch the game. But there's so much other things going on. That's why Judd wants to not just sit there and stare at the game. He's like, oh, my God.
Well,
I have another question.
A super fan, by the way, during the regular season, it's the 150th game, the team's in last place, is still riveted by the game. But every sport, and especially baseball, when it comes to the World Series, I'm riveted by every single second. But in the middle of the season, I'm not going there.
Dips a little.
But I love the World Series. I think it's incredible. Judd, comment.
Well, I think it was shocking to see the Mets play so well. And oh God,
oh my God,
oh, get that pussy cat out of there.
It's a preview for Cat NATO.
I prefer the Mets when they're terrible. Like when they start winning, I almost start drifting as a fan. Because when I was a kid, they were always so bad. I love to be the only fan at the stadium. Yes. So I have trouble when they're great, but it was fun to see the Mets play well.
Yep.
Wait, I have this is a controversial question. This is just in at press time, which is way before this airs. But then this chubby, sort of portly fat guy that tried to take the ball out of the glove.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was that heavy. We want to disparage his look.
Yeah, he was like me.
He was husky. Husky is the most benign word about.
Dad bod. He had a dad bod.
Oh yeah, he had dad bod. Farley always said, "I'm a husky."
I know.
That's a size he wears. Okay, so husky guy and his buddy who get. I mean, I get all the hijinks and hey, it's your team, but when you are snapping Mookie Betts' clavicle while you're bending his hand back and giving him carpal tunnel and stealing the ball, fine. And they get kicked out, fine. But they're back. They're allowed to come back the next game. I don't think they should be allowed. That was shocking.
If there is a next game in New York, whoops. We don't know. This comes out 2 weeks from now.
No, there is for sure a game after that game. I don't know if there's a game after that game.
Well, it's sudden death for the Yankees every game. They have to win.
You don't care that they're coming back. You don't care.
I'm intrigued by both teams. I just think that you can't be that good and not explode like they did last night for 10 runs. And can you use the word, are they choking the yips? I mean, in the first 3 games, or just a little bit of luck on the Dodgers side with throwing people out and,
Judd. What's the answer, Judd?
One might say, I'm not a big expert on this, but it might.
Yes, you are, compared to us.
It might be that the Dodgers are playing really well. I mean, as a Mets fan, it's hard to.
That's a hot take.
That's a crazy. Go out on a limb.
I like all the teams. I like the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees. So
they're scoring more points.
I'm not even rooting for anybody. I'm kind of like
I root for players. Space. I want Aaron Judge to go crazy. I root for the players because my heart goes out to anybody who's on that stage who's that brilliant since he's 10 years old. And watching him struggle like that, so I root for players. Mm-hmm.
Listen. By the way, this just in: the Yankees allowed the players to come back, but the MLB overruled it
and banned them. Wow,
there you go.
Mm-hmm. I think that's more probably
forever.
Judd, we don't have a ticker tape here. We just have a couple.
We're going to see similar-looking men at the Dodger Stadium, with fake mustaches and noses on, seated in the exact same place. So I think there's more to this story than what we're hearing.
Well, they got the facial recognition technology, like it matters.
Oh, that's right, AI. Yes. AI finally comes to the rescue. All right, what about Aaron Judge? His life is all green lights. If he's got a little bit of trouble, he'll be fine. Because he's like 6'8". Is that possible? 6'8"? Is that even a number that's possible? Oh, yeah, it is because it's on every girl's Instagram. The guy's got to be minimum 6'8".
Yeah, it is kind of weird when you're really good looking and gigantic and then a superstar athlete and worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You're kind of like, is there anything that's bugging you right now in life?
Yeah, I know. Dana's like crying for the guy.
They say that like a lot of the reason why people are the quarterback is because they were good looking in junior high and high school, and they just kind of keep getting opportunities due to their sexiness and handsomeness to play. We're like the really goofy, ugly guy who might have become great. Not talking about myself, but maybe never gets a shot.
He never got in there.
And the handsome guys get the shots, and next thing you know, every quarterback looks like Tom Brady. It's
even backups are good looking.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I love about comedy. It doesn't matter what your mug is. You can have any kind of look.
Like
if you're funny, because I was sort of a cutesy guy for a long time until I reached this age.
Adorable.
I was
still adorable.
Spade and I were like, they say you don't look funny.
Cutest.
I was told that by some manager. You don't look funny, kid.
Not funny enough.
You don't look funny. You don't look funny.
I have a question for Judd about the state of showbiz because Judd's got
Judd has a lot to
pulse
say
or whatever. I just read because we were sort of bitching about how in LA there's not a lot of shooting because or at least the wrong kind.
You mean photography of film production?
There's not enough tax credits. Everyone goes to Georgia. We all know this. Judd knows this better than anyone. One of the first things, Judd, when you get a budget of a movie is like, where do you shoot it, right? Isn't that an early?
That's right.
It's not always LA, unless the movie takes place in LA, right?
Well, they always want you to make the budget lower. I think in the old days you could kind of convince them it would be better in LA. Now I think they just go to Prague. It looks like LA. Go to Prague. I remember we did a movie in Shreveport, Louisiana with Harold Ramis. And so we did it to get the tax break. And we kept hearing screaming, like, and it was ruining all the takes. And we're like, what are we next door to? And they said, it's a monkey sanctuary where after they test monkeys, that's where they live out their day. That's where they send you to make a movie, not LA, which has all the good equipment.
Do you switch it out and make your film a Tarzan movie, even if it's a romantic comedy? I mean, you write fast. I mean, come on, we just make it a
on the fly.
Jungle Cruise 2.
Dana, that's just in. So they're changing. Gavin Newsom is changing the tax credit in LA because of our podcast. They only had $350 million a year credit. They just bumped it to $700 million, and that's not going to go into effect till next summer, so a year. But I think it's okay. It's not enough when everything is in billions now. Everything you hear about is $1 billion win here, $2 billion, $20 billion, $100 billion. So when you still have an M in front of it, it doesn't sound like it's a huge help, but it will help. So I appreciate the effort. But we got a lot of crew. We got a lot of people here that want to work, and they're in the Tinseltown, Hollywood, and we got to make it a little easier. We have studios there all over the place. Don't want them to go down.
Yeah, we don't want.
We need a tax break, which is more than Jessica Alba has in the bank.
Yeah, at any given time.
I personally love the businessman artist thing. I'm envious, but when I see people leveraging whatever their career is and then becoming a gazillionaire with different products, it's like,
How come you never bought like a cell service?
Yeah, Dana.
I thought in the 90s, you couldn't even do a commercial. In the 80s, Hans and Franz were offered just do it. The first Nike campaign, just do it. Couldn't do it. Weren't allowed to do it.
Why? Who said no?
Just forces at play. It's not what we do. And then it flipped. And now you see even cast members that are out of SNL doing massive campaigns for commercials. So
they leave the show to do a commercial and come back.
I turned down a lot of commercials, and I would have gone. I'm fine, but I would have gone back and done them. Leno was right. Leno did Doritos. And people
do Doritos.
I remember I had a friend who left SNL, and they did a commercial for the phone company. And got paid more money than they got paid for like 8 years on SNL.
Yes. Well,
Dana, I did one for a MCI. No, I did one for
what's in your wallet? Weren't you one of the
1-800-COLLECT? I did that too. No. But when I 1-800-COLLECT, where I go, hey, call, and I was on a payphone going, hey, call 1-800-COLLECT. Beep boop bop boop beep bop beep. I did that. Anyway, hilarious. So when I did a Playboy interview, which is like kind of a big interview, not just Playboy, but it's just a big interview. And so Gervitz called me and he goes, I'm sorry. I'm reading this interview. I'm sorry. I just got a call from MCI. You didn't happen to say in the interview you do commercials for 1-800-COLLECT, but you don't really use that for collect calls. You use Sprint. Did you say that? I'm sorry. All the people that are going to have to give back their millions of dollars take one step forward. That's you, Spade.
Is that what happened?
Are you? Yeah, they called and said, we want our money back.
And you apologized.
And I said, no, I was just saying that.
Kidding.
There's literally no defense. I was like, I was just being honest.
I would just say that it's opposite. In those days, it was like, oh, you do a commercial, you're selling out. No. If you do a shitty movie with a shitty director, and that's your face on the face of a shitty movie, that's selling out. Everyone knows when we see our heroes doing a commercial, they're getting paid a lot of money, but this is not their creative area. Right. This is not their
But
art.
You want them to hopefully be decent. So
that's
turn
a
down ones
bonus.
that aren't quite there. But they're never going to be a 10 out of 10, usually.
So, Judd, would you like a commercial? Judd Apatow for...
Would you direct a Super Bowl one? And are you right now?
Well, here's the thing. I got offered a Super Bowl commercial, and some company wanted to do some sort of variation of Seth and Paul doing, how I know you're gay as a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was like,
gay, would it be? What would it be?
I don't think that'll work.
I don't either.
And they hadn't asked them yet. So I just said, no, I don't see how you can adjust that joke to make it work.
Right.
Then I watched the Super Bowl. They're both in it. They made millions and it was funny.
There you go.
You cut yourself out of the equation. Hilarious.
I didn't believe it ourselves.
Did you turn the TV off and storm out of the room when you saw that?
I was upset.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to ask you, just because I'm curious, because we briefly talked about it a little while back, is just the culture of Hollywood in terms of what they'll green light. And I know now you just said something interesting and it wasn't negative or whiny. It was just sort of like observing that when you pitch things, if it's subtle and kind of quiet, like something like The Office or whatever, they want something that can trend or make noise or be noisy as a concept.
Noisy, yeah.
chimpanzees go on a spaceship and then come back to Earth, and Eartha Kitt is alive and is president of the United States. You got it. So how are you navigating that? I know we're going to talk about your stand-up in a second, but as a filmmaker.
Well, I have a new theory, which is I feel like everything is like in the newspaper business. If it bleeds, it leads. Like everything is doom scrolling because they don't want you to shut anything off. So they're obsessed with it being really intense. That's why almost everything on the streamers is either about the biggest star in the world or a serial killer.
Right.
Like everything is a thriller. Everything is like intense,
hypersexual.
Yeah,
some actress, like Nicole Kidman, which I love her shows because they're just sexy thrillers.
Because she's in every one,
and she's in a lot. Good for her.
God,
it's all like completion rate. Like we must have them completed. We cannot put on a film if anyone shuts it off. And so there's an intensity to everything, whether it's sexy or exciting or terrifying. And I think it changes it so you don't have quieter, subtler, whatever funny human things, because I think they're afraid people are going to shut it off or not go.
Yeah.
And you lose a lot of good stuff when everything is so wired,
Yeah. Every TikTok starts with, I just got shot. And then you go, really? And they go, let me back up a minute. So I was born in Michigan. And everyone's like, oh my God. And then it never gets to, it takes, and I hate when it says wait for it on it. Wait for it so I can make money when it hits a minute. Wait for it.
Yeah.
And so you wait for it. And I'm like, it wasn't worth the wait. Yeah.
I think if you
have to tell you
to it, it's everywhere. Is this like
Judd, I think when Nicole Kidman comes out at the beginning of AMC, she should tell you, in this movie, we want you to watch the whole thing. It's like saying wait for it. It's like ideally stay till the end.
Well, I have to say the movie going experience now is bigger and better for me than it's ever been, because only in church or in a movie theater are you pretty much required to turn off your phone, or basically on takeoff on a plane. So you go into a dark theater, so you turn it off and you're trapped in the movie, where you might click away if you had 1,000 choices. But you hang with it, and then a lot of times, that was a great movie, and it's so peaceful. I pay it to go to a matinee just because I'm in a dark room looking at a screen with imagery.
It's fun. It's still fun.
You shut the world off. Judd, comment?
I think there's nothing better than laughing in a movie theater with a lot of people, and we need more. Let's do more.
I miss Judd preview screenings when it goes well. It's just so fun.
When
see the movie for the first time. Oh my God!
When you've been working on it for years and you show it to people for the first time. I remember when we showed Superbad for the first time. I convinced Cameron Crowe to come to just give us notes if we screwed anything up, and it just killed so hard. It was like winning the Super Bowl. It was just
so great.
It was so funny. It was like Carvey on SNL doing Biden.
Yeah,
come
on. Yeah. And guess what? And by the way. Come on, folks. Let's get real. Let's get real time and gotta do it. That was that was a little nerve-wracking. I thought for the first one, and I think I overdid his walk a little bit when I came out, but because
I go, did he get shot?
You don't see it. I had never seen myself do Biden, so I made adjustments. But I was waiting for someone to maybe heckle me. And I had it locked and loaded. Get your facts straight, Jack. I was ready for that. But so far, the New York Times co-signed it, so I'm happy. Yeah.
I remember when I heard it the first time, and I said to you, I go, look at Dana. Everyone's struggling to figure out their Biden, and you have it just nailed quietly in your own little world. And I it was the dream that they would have you do it on the show. I'm glad that all worked out.
Bizarrely was invited to do it before Biden before the debate problem. And then afterwards, Lorne Michaels still, you'll come in, he just wanted me to be there. But anyway, it's fun to be able to do a character that's kind of ironically new and then is leaving the stage very soon. So it's like a little,
You know what I like about it? It's like you alpha dog the whole show. You're like, oh, by the way, I'm still the best one who ever did it. Boom.
Yeah. This is my favorite Superfly episode so far.
I think they didn't know they needed a good Biden until they saw it. And they were like, oh, good. This is a great addition.
Who would be the other character that you have loaded that you're like, second half,
I would love to do James Carvell currently on those Zooms, leaning over. And I like the Southerners. I do like both. We both love Senator John Kennedy. Who does the. Now, you tweeted on October 4th, your words, not mine, that you would believe. So anyway, that's those two. If they were invited, I would try to do a deep thing on them. So
no one does RFK. Is it offensive to try to do RFK?
I did it here, only explaining what dystonia is. I have a brother with dystonia, and it's not lethal, but his vocal cords are just constricting, and so that's his voice. It doesn't stop him, but it is all stuck back there, and you have to get used to listening to it. If you
I think it's just hard to listen to. That's
I get used to it. I listen to him on Joe Rogan, and
the ladies like it, so it's not hurting them.
Yeah.
Well, look, he's a Kennedy. They go, oh, did he have anything going on? Well, look at his uncle and dad. Come on.
Born with a boner.
But is a Republican Kennedy a Kennedy? How does he hit on the ladies setting up Dana?
I don't know.
Let me hear him hit on.
How does Trump? Ladies. It's unbelievable.
A Republican, Bobby Kennedy Jr. or the.
No,
I do Jack Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy from heaven talking about their your son. Your son is certainly a colorful character. Has very extraordinary positions on different issues. I know. I agree, Jack. He dances to his own tune. It's just the same accent, but slightly more Bugs Bunny. But
I like that they're so compassionate about him. They're not mad.
Well, they would be. You know how Jack Kennedy. If you ever want to just be happy, watch a John F. Kennedy press conference in 1961 or two. The charm and it's off the charts. The way he was. I see you're a question, and then he would do some self-effacing joke. I mean, what a master of that. So. Anyway, I don't know how we got here, but where should we go next? But yeah, I'm happy to do other things on the show, but it's been fun to do Biden. And I do try to George Bush seniorize it in that I take liberty. He never said, I can't believe it's not butter. I make it a character. And when I'm doing the character, I like the character I'm doing. Like I like the character of Joe Biden that I do. So anyway, that's all I got to say.
He's a nice man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a human thing. Neil Young used to say that about politics. It's a human thing, man. Because when I told him I was going to the White House, we were after SNL, we were sitting, I go to the White House to George Bush Sr. He goes, it's a human thing, man. So in the end of the day, all the politics, it's a human thing. And so I would love President Biden to come on and just be fun to do a little thing with him.
Judd went to Coachella with Biden, I think.
Judd
hangs with all the celebs.
So enough about that. Now,
what about your comedy?
What are you doing with this comedy thing now?
I'm at the New York Comedy Festival. I'm at the Beacon Theater on November 9.
You're headlining the Beacon by yourself?
I have some friends. It's surprise guests. Last time I did it, Sandler came and Mike Birbiglia. So this time it's always it's a secret, but there will be people there that you'll be happier that they're there than I'm there. You're kind of really just hoping I tricked people into joining me, and that's the reason to go. And I can say right now, there are people way better than me on the bill, secret people you'll be excited about.
So, but are you going last? Are you headlining?
Well, that's always the question, isn't it?
Because when we do Largo, sometimes it's Judd's night.
Yep.
And I'll go on and go over to see Judd and hang out. But sometimes, Judd, you do beginning and then middle and then end, right?
Sometimes I do like 20 here, 20 there.
Yeah.
Depending on how it's going. But I'm also in Atlanta at the Variety Playhouse this Sunday. These are all benefits for hurricane relief. Like David Spade, I've made all my shows benefits for the Red Cross for hurricane relief. Right, David?
That's nice,
that, right?
I gave fat ones to the Red Cross about 10 years ago, remember? I think you remember because I put out a press release.
That's so covers
They haven't spent it all. They can't spend it all.
So you can juddapatow.com/events. And the one in Atlanta, the money goes to Georgia. And the one in New York, the money goes to North Carolina.
That's cool. What's the date of the Beacon one?
It's the 9th of November, and it's the 3rd in Atlanta.
And what day of the week is the 9th?
It's Saturday. Okay. And it's just Saturday. A few days after the election. So it could be any kind of night, depending on where you sit.
Because I was going to, if it was a night I could be there, because I will be in New York, but if it's Saturday night, it might be tricky. I was just going to be in the audience and raise my hand and then, and then come up and do Biden.
Do you have a show that night?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
But I happen to be there. And then, so that's the 9th at the Beacon for the hurricane relief. And then the second ones is on what night of the week?
On the 3rd in Atlanta at the Variety
It's a Saturday, right?
Got it.
It's funny when you give money to Red Cross or something and you do a nice gesture immediately after someone like Taylor Swift gives $1 million. Everyone goes, and wait, what'd you give again? I go, well, listen, it all is thrown into the pot.
$1 million became the kind of bar of like,
it has to be at least $1 million or
and
what are you doing?
You can't be like, I'm going to give $75,000. And it's like,
and someone else gets 10 million.
I know. That's the problem is that when you do these things, you say, like, you're going to do an event, you'll make some money, and then the money just goes there. We don't need to know how much. It's all positive vibes. It's all going to a good thing. Go ahead.
Do people give privately anymore? Or is that not in fashion?
You're not allowed to not brag about it.
Okay. Well, I could do some retroactive bragging then. So I was not posting on.
It's like you try to give money to a politician, and then Elon Musk gives them $150 million.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
It's like when you see someone go, "Oh, we saw George Clooney leaving this restaurant, and TMZ caught him giving a bum $100." I mean, a homeless guy. I mean, a not home guy, whatever it's called.
Well,
and then they go, "Oh, well, when there's 18 paparazzi there, I'll give 200. How about that?"
It's $1,000 for $1,000. Let's talk about trending. Bang for your buck. You go to a diner with friends or whatever, and you leave $1,000 cash tip. So you're for people that were blessed by America in our lives, we can do that, and that'll trend big. You know. But if you give $500,000 instead of $1 million for hurricane relief, people are like, yeah.
Sandra Bullock gave more.
Yeah, Sandy.
Yeah, but when you give a big tip at a restaurant like that, then the next time you come back, when you bring it back down to 22%, then you're dead.
Oh yeah, they always heard. It's true. Bill Murray said I think he said he had to carry 20s during SNL. Then now it's 50s. Now it's 100s. Because if anyone gets a little less, they go a little tough out there in the career.
Bill Murray.
Because you're only getting
financial
100
problems
every time. Look at when they take my bag down to the car. It used to be the bellman, then he's gone. Then there's another guy with the trunk open. Mr. Spade, this all good? I'm like, oh, that guy gave it to that guy. I have to dust my bag for Prince to see who I give money to.
I grazed it. If you go to the hardware store and on the screen it asks you what your tip is, what's your move?
For buying nails?
Yeah.
I go, well,
a tip
I just
for
went and
nails?
picked them up and brought it here. So
I just tip half. I just tip half. And when I go to a Four Seasons or that kind of hotel, I pack my jacket with 20s. Yeah, if it's half at a restaurant, I pack my jacket with 20s like a magician.
50%.
And then any guy leaping valet or whatever, it takes me usually, which I'm fine doing this. I know it's not what's going to break me. It takes me about $200 to get to my room. But then I go, well, why not? I mean, I worked on tips. Did you ever a waiter or a busboy?
I was a busboy. I was a busboy at the East Side Comedy Club on Long Island. Because I wanted to watch comedians when I was in high school. First, I was a dishwasher.
I had the same trajectory. Yeah, dishwasher was.
But I couldn't see the show because I was in the kitchen. And I was like, this is a miscalculation. I can't see. It was literally like Rosie O'Donnell.
Was
it
the
Eddie
Hobart
Murphy,
3000 where you'd run it through a thing?
The Hobart?
Hobart 3000 was my dishwasher, and the dishes would pile up. You'd get no break, and I would eat off the plates that were left over.
Would you eat off of it? Because I had a friend who was a waiter, and he ate like half a hamburger off of someone's plate, and then both his arms got hives. So we all realized not to do that.
I ate everything when I was a busboy.
Hives from a hamburger. I can't connect those dots.
Well, who knows what saliva from the
That's what he told his girlfriend.
Yeah.
She goes, how'd you get these bumps? He's like, babe, I'm a busboy. I ate the wrong hamburger.
I loved being a dishwasher. I love just having my hands and everyone's melting wet buns and breads. And it was like a video game because they would dump the dishes and you had to clean them fast so the area where the dishes got dumped didn't get too loaded up.
Right.
And it was like a human video game.
Yeah. And then you'd stack them and they'd be hot. You'd stack the bread roll plates and and then you'd have to mop the entire kitchen for the night shift or day shift and clean up for hours afterwards.
When I was doing those, you put them all in the racks, Judd, and you push them into the steamy machine. And that smell, if I cut through the kitchen and you smell it, I just go, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore. It's so hard.
Oh, I get the opposite. I'm just like, oh my God, that was so fun. I used to put on Foreigner 4 and listen to Jukebox Hero while I mop the floor at 1:30 in the morning.
Okay, that's cool.
It was a Monday. All right. Well, I think that's enough for Judd. He did a great job. We had a lot of fun with Judd. He had his curtains almost closed. He did everything right.
Let me just ask you one quick question. Where are you in your stand-up right now? Are you in shape? Do you have a new thing? Are you in your stand-up or?
I do have a new hour, and I think it's kind of interesting. I tell a very long story about taking ayahuasca that leads to a lot of other kind of stories about youthful trauma that is kind of interesting. I usually don't tell like a really long story, but this is such a crazy one.
Sometimes
people
they're
talk
good.
about ayahuasca on this podcast and our other sister podcasts. Ayahuasca, MDMA, whatever. Neil Brennan.
Have you done the ayahuasca?
I have not. I did mushrooms in my 20s, and I thought I'm good.
David? No, David's not. He's not going to do that.
He's not
risky like that. I did read that you were shopping with Leslie and you were sitting over on the side or something. There's a lot of reports on you sometimes on the sites, and a photo. And a photo.
Although one thing, David, you'll relate to is when I took ayahuasca, my back was out, and I thought, what if I'm tripping and just start like leaping, but with a bad back? Yeah. And that's why you can't do it because your back, your neck will go out.
My neck, yeah. Would it fix it?
Or it would fix it, and it would
because I'm sure a lot of it's mental.
Were you kind of, without being pithy, were you fixed a little bit, or I guess it's in your stand-up?
Was I what a bit
fixed? Neil Brennan just said it between ayahuasca and MDMA, and this is all public knowledge or whatever, he kind of got out of his depression. It really helped him, at least last time we talked.
It was, I'm Catholic now. That's the only big change.
That's a fix.
Me too.
I'm Lutheran.
I'm Lutheran too. I was raised Lutheran.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All
okay.
Right. Well,
interesting.
Thank you, Judd.
Well, have a nice time in New York. If I'm not in the show, I'll drop by.
Stop by after dress.
Yeah, I could just squeeze over there. All right, Judd.
Miss you. I'll see you soon. Judd's stand-up is funny. Go see it. I've seen it. This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Superfly is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, Heather Santoro, and Greg Holtzman. Hope you liked it. Ooh. How long did you work with Julia Sweeney? Do you know how many seasons?
I think probably 3.
Her whole run?
Yeah. Or 4. She kind of so we had Nora Dunn and Jan Hooks and Victoria Jackson as our primary female cast members.
Some killers.
Yeah. And they were great. And then when Jan and Nora left, then Julia came in and took that primary role of doing a lot of stuff with Phil Hartman.
Yeah. Phil Hartman.
Her range is incredible. And then we do talk about in this podcast, really interesting, her character, It's Pat, about a kind of a woman that no one knows whether it's a man or a woman. This was 1991 or 2. But she talks all about her reaction to that, what she feels about it.
We also talk about, she brings up a sketch I wrote for her when I was a little writer. And that even shocked me, and I did not remember, and it was great to hear. It was a very real reaction from me.
I always say to people, take away David Spade, all the fame, The Bachelorette, all the shows, all the movies, all the world, Missy. He was a dandy little sketch writer.
I like that. I'll take that over everything. That's the hardest thing
But you
to
wrote
do.
some jokes for me once. You were my opening act. We did a little tour. and I would give you subjects, and you'd go, "Sure, boss." And you had a pencil in your ear and a little notebook. Right away, boss.
Here's a joke Dana did today. Why do they call them neat freaks? Why do you have to be a freak if you're neat? That's yours.
Can't you just be tidy? Nah, you're a neat freak. I'm vacuuming. Why am I a freak? I'm not a freak.
I'm just vacuuming. Freak. Get away from the freak. Get the cat away. That's Dana's new one. All right, here we go. Julia Sweeney. So you were saying about religion.
Oh, yeah.
You've done 2 or 3 one-woman shows based on...
Well, really just one.
Letting Go of God was the...
Yeah, that's the religion one. The other ones are other things.
God said, ha. Yeah, I got it. But
yeah.
So you're an atheist.
Yes, although I really...
It sounds so negative, but it's just atheist.
Yes, well, no, because to American ears, atheist sounds like... I hate puppies and flowers.
Yes. It's kind of a Nazi-esque thing to it or something.
Yeah, even though the Nazis weren't atheists, which I'm always explaining to people. Okay, but anyway. It comes from Catholicism. I mean, I've had let me put it this way. I don't live my life under the assumption that there's a deity watching what I do.
Right.
I guess that makes me an atheist.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know what, I keep coming back to this, like, I can't comprehend infinity, that there was no beginning or end to this, whatever, why do things exist? And when did they get here? So I keep going around with that. I did know a Jehovah's Witness once who told me he could understand infinity. I said, so you can think of a God who never was not here, was always here. He looked up and he goes, yeah, I got it. Yep.
I want to say to the record, I like puppies and I like flowers.
Me too.
I think, Julie, what people it hits the ear like, if you don't believe in that, then you don't believe what we believe is that created those things. So you're against everything. Is that kind of what the vibe is?
Yeah, that's it. And it's like I used to think I could, I don't know what I thought. I guess I thought doing my show, I would change people's mind. I wasn't doing it to change people's mind. Actually, the reason I did the show is because for me, it was a huge, the philosophical transformation. I wasn't particularly religious before. So it was about age 40 that this happened. Well, I was religious. I wanted to be a nun in high school. I was completely committed Catholic, but I let it kind of go away. And then I had a crisis in my life that made me believe more. Like I really felt, like I had religious experiences. And then after that, I started trying to think, well, what was going on with those experiences? And then as I learned more and more about the brain and how we evolved, then I finally read the Bible. And then over 2 years, I realized that I could explain it psychologically or naturally, or, I didn't need a God to explain what happened to me. And then, that was a big dramatic change in my life. And I had been doing these one-person shows about things like that. So I thought, that's a good challenge to kind of do a one-person show about a change of mind, that all the dramas all takes place in your head. And that was really hard. And I didn't necessarily achieve it. I had to make stories and, I had to conform to normal dramatic structure, but I did it. And it was probably my most popular show. But I wasn't thinking I'm going to convince people to be an atheist. It was more like
it have comedic tones, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. It was actually, right. I felt defensive about it because I felt like I was getting as many laughs per 5 minutes as comedians were. But because it was a difficult topic, I wasn't considered a stand-up,
Right.
And
it's a brave topic, and that's harder in stand-up. It's more respected in a way to try to tackle things instead of 7-Eleven, which I tackle.
I watched about 12 minutes of it. I thought it was really charming, and the way you walked yourself into it was very disarming for the audience. But yeah, did I ever believe in a magic God and all that stuff? No, I'm with you on that. I mean, I never bought it, and no one bought it in the Lutheran Church. Even the pastors, you could tell.
I fully believe now that everyone, no one really believes it. I mean, like, I think
no
it's just
really,
about tribalism and history and affection for the ritual and affection for the way of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it almost is like it was useless to try to argue rationally with someone about it. It isn't a rational choice. It's usually you're born into it, or you have an emotional thing that makes you join something because it helps your life. Like, and, you know, I don't care. That's fine with me, with people. Like, I'm not, you know, so.
I went back to the Catholic Church with my wife, and I found it just interesting because they were talking about Pontius Pilate and stuff. You know, and it's like, wow, they're still doing it. It was like going back in time. But
they're still doing these bits?
Yeah. But
David, I know, it's the old material.
David, have you ever had
now I kind of, as a hobby, follow these right-wing Catholics. It's interesting.
Right wing. Okay.
Oh, yeah. There's a huge schism coming in the church, I think.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because there's the Latin Massers, and they're the people who are with Pope Benedict and not with Pope Francis, and they think Francis is the anti-pope.
Did you say Pope Benedict or Pope Wanadic? Good night. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, I'm canceled. I'm sorry. I'm canceled every 5 minutes.
I like that one.
I just made it up. Anyway, should we talk about your other supernatural experience, meeting David Spade in 19?
Julia. When you got, my question for Julia is, and then we're going to get to me and Julia, of course. When I think you came from Groundlings. So when that happens, and you can explain how it happens, is there any jealousy when someone gets plucked out of Groundlings?
Well, it's so funny. I think I was so naive. I didn't think anyone was jealous of me, and I wasn't jealous of other people. But now I understand that most people get really jealous of those things. I mean, so I was just kind of oblivious about it towards me, and the people who got on before me, like Phil Hartman and John Lovitz, who I only didn't know well, but I knew Phil a lot better than John. But I didn't feel jealous. I just thought, wow, that's so exciting. You know, like I didn't. But there's something wrong with me that I don't feel that way. I actually don't feel that way. I don't
it's an
feel
innocence.
That way. So,
it's a nice innocence that you learn later, like, oh shit, they're mad at me because of this. Or I started to feel those tingles of jealousy at SNL, to be honest. And
at
I didn't
SNL,
really have
that's
it
different of getting on it.
Yeah. Well, at Groundlings, everyone's good too, you know, but SNL is just a whole nother level, like going from college probably to
I mean, my experience with the Groundlings was all for one and one for all. And if someone gets something, we're all happy. And then at SNL, it took me a long time to understand how to be competitive. You know, like I didn't. It was really
brutal. Yeah.
I was really kind of a lamb fed to the sharks in certain ways, but I did adapt.
Melanie Hutzel, we talked with recently, and she talked about.
I love her.
And she's so sweet and so Southern. And she talked about that. The difference, the stand-ups were kind of trained to kill and destroy and elbow out.
Right.
And it seemed like the Groundlings were sweeter and nicer overall.
I mean, I'm sure I was naive, and I was, and frankly, I was succeeding so much. I didn't know, that sounds arrogant to say, but at that moment I was succeeding enough that I didn't have any awareness of the competitiveness of it. I was just thought we were all doing it. But then when I got to SNL, well, actually, and I feel like I had mostly really good experience there, but now that I'm older, and I look back, I think I really didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand how hard you had to compete. I thought we were all just going to look out for each other.
Yeah. Well, when Nora and Jen left and you came in, it seemed like you had you were very active initially. You were doing stuff
before I was beaten down.
Well, you became the go-to wife.
A solid utility. Yeah.
You were just in every sketch in a sense. You and Phil had that sort of a lot of sketches together, right? And you were very active your first year.
I mean, Jan was mostly his wife, but I was the B team wife.
But then Jan left the show and there you were. And then you came in. You were the alternative wife.
Did you and Jan overlap a year and maybe Nora?
Year.
1 year. Okay.
A year, yeah.
And Nora not at all?
No, because I think I replaced her. If you think of it like that,
chased her out is what we call it.
No, she had
elbows, Sweeney.
There was several shows she was not at.
Sharp elbows.
You got some sharp elbows, Sweeney.
Yeah.
Don't play it. But
that's a good SNL book title.
Yeah, sharp elbows.
Well, yeah, Julia. So you come in, you get plucked from the Groundlings. Was it anyone else with you, or was Phil and John already there, but you got plucked solo?
Yeah. And it was between me and Lisa Kudrow.
Ooh,
really?
And when I got it, I thought, I hope Lisa gets something.
Oh,
she deserves success like me.
Yeah, bless her heart. And I hope I hope one day she makes
someday she gets on a show.
Dollars.
Because what?
Yeah.
She deserves it.
You know what's funny? I'm not saying if there was room for two women, and I'm saying back then it was probably a lot tougher where they wouldn't even consider that.
I know.
But you and Lisa would have been such a score.
I mean,
plucked
Lisa's
together.
wonderful. I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of bought into that culture too. Like you have 3 women and 7 to 10 guys. That's how it is.
That's way too many women.
That's right.
3.
Yeah, it was a good ratio. 12 guys and 3 women. I really enjoyed that.
In fairness, it was true that there was, talk about not enough for the women, and it was true. And it's very, it's. I think nowadays they're more cognizant of it because there's a lot of great women have come through there. And
yeah,
I think you paved the way.
Tina Fey
also
changed everything. I think she revolutionized SNL.
Yeah, and doing update and writing and like
bringing women
really,
in and pointing out that there's no reason not to have the women. That if all the sketches are so male focused that there's only women as weird archetypes in sketches here and there, it's like you're never going to get the women used. You have to really change your whole point of view. And I wasn't there, and I don't even know Tina Fey, but I sense that there was a huge revolution took place. That was a good one.
It's funny when Tina was there, it sounds crazy, but that might have been the first time when there's like a sketch with all women.
Yeah.
Where people would be like, what?
Well, she wrote about that in her book. I mean, not about the sketch, but just about why you couldn't have a whole sketch group that was all women, or like, why wouldn't you be able to think up a lot of sketches for a lot of women that didn't happen to have a man in it? And I had that prejudice myself. Like, I really thought, oh yeah, you think of something for a guy to do. And then you think how you could come in, it took a long time for me to see how much the sexism was even in myself.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the way it was. We were all there around the same time. And I remember it was just the way it was thought, good or bad. It was just the way it was thought.
Yeah. It's amazing how you don't even question certain things. Like, I thought of myself as a liberated, progressive person, and yet I didn't. I thought, oh yeah, it will always be 3 women and 10 guys.
Well, also Sarah Palin came in as a vice presidential candidate, so that was, and then Hillary later, so that gave 2 political parts that were, I don't know who you could do back then, really. I mean, Senator Feinstein, she was there.
Oh, you did Chelsea. Did it say that that she had that rubbed somebody wrong?
Yeah, Hillary.
You did Chelsea. Okay.
Chelsea Clinton, and then Hillary did not like it.
She wrote a letter to Lorne. Oh, and then people were saying how unattractively I was playing Chelsea, and all I did was not wear makeup and put braces on. So I was like, if you say that, you're saying I'm unattractive. Like, which maybe that's so, but it's that's like I wasn't trying to play her unattractive.
With all that prosthetics, you made her look horrible. You're like, I just washed my face. And then I walked in.
I just didn't wear makeup and put on braces. That was it. And a wig, a long wig, curly wig. But anyway, I understood what Hillary was saying, especially now that I'm a parent.
Sure.
Like, it's like, yeah, fuck off, I mean, don't play kids. I mean, that was wrong. She was right. That was wrong.
What about when Farley played?
The show apology.
Who was the mayor, or was it? Whose kid did Farley play? They played him like such a moron, jumping all over his dad, and while he's giving a speech. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, Dana? Was it Phil?
Was it Giuliani?
I can't remember.
Giuliani's. It was Giuliani's 10-year-old boy, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would just wear a suit and grab and eats hamburgers, and if I would have been furious, of course. If you had to watch that as your own kid.
Yeah.
We did a lot of things that we couldn't do now. I was in Lyle Bullup, the effeminate heterosexual.
I know, but people mention that to me so often. I mean, people love that. That describes the type of person and behavior that is recognizable that hadn't been labeled yet. I mean, like that was, I mean, at least in a pop culture sense. So I feel like that. And I think that's true. That is true. There are people who are effeminate and heterosexual who are men. Yes. That's a true thing. I mean, like,
right.
I don't.
When you slow it down, it sounds better.
I don't see how people could be offended by it.
Well, what I found out later that pained me was that I think it was the mixer in the booth. The gentleman at the time was gay, and when that sketch came on, he recused himself.
Oh, really?
Someone else worked the lever. So,
but why does he think that being effeminate mannerisms is pejorative towards a gay person? I mean,
right? It goes both ways. You're right.
Like I guess I don't. Yeah, I find it hard to understand some of the stuff that people object to. But anyway.
I'm with you. We're comedians and we're not very offendable, and we want to say the thing you're not supposed to say. It's just instinctual, and do the thing you're not supposed to do. And so we're not normal. But that one I couldn't do today, and I did an Asian character too. We're making our way to a character called Pat too, which has had a resurgence in notoriety in the last few years. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about
it. We were way ahead of the game on that.
Or behind.
That's right.
I mean, the thing for me is that I always thought the joke was mostly about the people who were around Pat, who were so flummoxed, who were so freaked out, which I thought was Christine and I at the beginning, because we wrote all those sketches together. Christine Zander, as we said at the beginning, the jokes are not on Pat, except that Pat looks weird and drools and is annoying. But it's not because people aren't going to laugh at Pat for Pat's androgyny. What we're laughing at is the people around Pat.
How to react?
Stand it that Pat's androgynous. So to me,
it makes them frustrated.
Yeah. And so, but that's a subtle comedy thing, that people, there's a lot of people upset by Pat. And and the truth is, I wasn't thinking of androgynous people as an SNL audience. You know what I mean? I was doing a character, like we're laughing at this idea. If I thought the audience was filled with androgynous people, I probably would have played it a little differently. You know what I mean? Like we didn't think of those people as our audience, but now you would. Would.
Sure. You would be aware of them. But then to me, the character, forget that it's Pat and no one knows whether it's a man or a woman, is just a funny character. That's what I mean. The way she moved, the way she talked, it was just a funny character.
Goofy.
I guess if I did it again, I would make Pat more enigmatic and make it clearer that it was about the other people and not Pat. Almost more Charlie Chaplin-esque, like just people not talking much, just about everyone else's reactions.
Yeah,
but anyway, no one's asking me to do that, so.
No, and
it's never too late for Pat 2. I think it's time for another one. We do it for 8 million at Warner's.
Let me tell you the saddest story.
Okay, now I love it.
I was going to New York, and I was going to go to SNL and bring my daughter, who hadn't gone. I guess we've gone twice in her life, but this was one of those times. And the Supreme Court had just had a case where they had brought up Pat at the Supreme Court during the case. And Alito didn't know who Pat was. And then there were these jokes about it. And Lauren and I had been emailing each other for something else. I think I had to get permission for something. Anyway, we had this email, and either here I was like, oh, isn't that funny that the Supreme Court joked about Pat, and who on the Supreme Court knew who Pat was or whatever. And then he said, when you come to the show next week, bring your Pat outfit with you to New York. Cause maybe, I don't know, who knows, maybe we'll do something out of the Supreme Court thing. But then the actual act of the sad fact of me, like at 58, not at really like packing my Pat outfit in a suitcase and bringing it,
a little weird.
hoping that maybe we do a Pat sketch. Like it was really, and of course no one even mentioned it. And the whole, like I had to bring the fucking Pat suit, and it was it was such an offhand comment. And then I took it I shouldn't have. Oh God! Every time
was it on a hanger? And did you show up with it on a hanger?
Hello,
was it in a little suit?
Here's my outfit.
Yeah, it's a really funny.
So is it a cold opening or is it an update piece? And everyone's like, what?
No one even mentioned it. And then it was like in front of my husband and daughter, which we all just took carry on. It's like, no, I have to check my pad outfit. And then it's like, oh well, I guess I really didn't need to.
How come Church Lady never got together with Pat? Why was Pat not on Church Chat? That seems like
we should have done that.
God,
I always travel with my Tom Petty hat.
He did it
no matter where I go.
And the mutton chops, right?
Pork chops, the little chops on the side. And just, you never know when someone is going to want it at a birthday party or something.
Oh my God.
When you came on, I started 4 weeks of the end of a season with Schneider, and then I think you started with Rock and Farley. No,
Farley was there. I came and visited the show when he did his Patrick Swayze sketch. I watched that show from the audience, but I wasn't on the show yet.
So you came in mid-season, probably, right?
Well, no, it was just, I think it was the next episode.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I knew I was going to start, but I wasn't in that episode.
Yeah, I came the week before to look at a show. They said, why don't you come early? And I think that may be what they do to us. But and you watch it and going, oh my God, I'm going to be part of this shit. It's moving so fast. I have no idea what's going on.
I think it's scary watching a practice show, projecting yourself out there a week later. How will I be out there? I mean,
but you guys because you guys, see, to me, it wasn't scary to me, but that's not saying that it shouldn't have been scary. But I think because of doing sketches at the Groundlings, it was just like I was in so many sketches and you had to learn. It was very similar to being at the Groundlings.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. That's different for me and Dana because
it didn't seem scary. I actually had the opposite. Like I thought, as I watched it, I thought, oh, I can do this. I can do this.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Wow.
So you come in and you see all of us. So Phil, you knew, and you have great admiration for Phil, and you guys were good.
He'd been my teacher at
teacher.
Yeah.
God, who's better to teach? He's so good.
Oh my God. No, he changed my life with his teaching. He was he could really, not very many comedians can explain why they're funny and how they do it. And he could,
Funny thing about Phil seeing around the office is how Dana knows him way better, but how unassuming and how egoless, and he's always thinking about other things at work when I'm only thinking about SNL because but he's so good. He would be like, hey, I might go fishing this weekend, or hey, and then you think, how are you thinking of one other thing? This is driving me mental to try to, but he's just
I just
great.
remember how organized he was.
Yeah.
He had his folder, all the sketches, all the lines. He really made sure he knew his lines.
Oh, he's so good. Yeah.
He took it so seriously.
Yeah. And then he was so disciplined around it. And then he would have a Popular Mechanics or some kind of Motorboat Today magazine. He'd be looking at schematics of an Evinrude, and then he'd put it down, and then he'd go in a rehearsal scene, nail it perfect, go back out.
I think he had that red hardcover that says Saturday Night Live in the corner in that circle, and then it was like a red hard notebook, and you'd open it up, 3-ring binder, and you put
That's right. Yeah.
I'd put my 2 pages of script for that week in there and open it up.
Aw.
My update bit.
It's a consistent theme with David. He had a rough time.
I keep saying it. And then, so you got along pretty much like you knew. What were your first thoughts of like an Adam or something?
What's my first thoughts about what?
About like Sandler or Farley?
Sandler came a little later, I think.
Oh, right.
Maybe a year later.
Yeah, I think he wasn't there right away.
Ellen Cleghorn was with you.
Yeah.
Siobhan Fallon.
Yeah, I love Siobhan.
Yeah.
Melanie Hutzel. And
Beth, right?
Beth for each season.
Beth Cahill, yeah.
Those were kind of your primary.
Yeah, I didn't really know Beth very well. She was just there for 1 year. But yeah, I mean, it was exciting. I mean, of course, it was the most exciting thing. You're at the center of the universe and you're at the top of what you would want to be for your skill set. I mean, like, it's the best. I mean, it was the greatest, most thrilling thing. I would say it was completely great till the last year. And at first,
what happened the last year?
Well, for one thing, the sketches changed. They were more bro sketches. And
who would be doing that?
And there was no place for me in those sketches. I mean, like, there was no, And I wasn't getting my own stuff on, and no one was casting me. And Christine had left. That was the big thing. So we had written together every week, and she'd gone to work on Third Rock from the Sun with Bonnie and Terry.
Christine Zander.
Great writer.
I just was lost without her, frankly. And I felt like the sketches were more, I remember something, I mean, it was kind of terrible. There was some sketch where they had to have a beautiful woman, and I was listening to everyone talk about how none of the women who were on the show could play a beautiful woman. And they had to bring in a model because there was literally no one there that, even with makeup and everything, who could pass as sexual. And then I was like, wow,
oh my God,
really not that I would have necessarily been that choice anyway, but it's like that point of view, there just was no room for me. Now, looking back, I think I should have pushed harder of my own comedy, and I should have, shoulda, woulda, coulda, let everybody does. But
Xander and the Turners, who, if people listening, Bonnie and Terry Turner were great writers together. Christine Zander was wonderful. So having them in your corner, or at least a piece of it or something, really takes a chunk away, and you need every piece to keep going. And if you have a little bit slipping,
and I knew it would be harder, but I didn't know it would be devastating. I didn't know that it would be. I thought
the bottom would drop out.
Yeah, the bottom really seemed to drop out, and so for the first time, there were sketches shows I wasn't even in it. And that was hard. It was really hard. I could hardly wait to leave at the end of that year, but. Up until then, though, it was fantastic.
Yeah, sure.
It really was very exciting.
Yeah, it seemed like I was there three years with you, and it just seemed like you were really, really active in the show.
Yeah, and I think that was a big part, was my youthful enthusiasm, and also Christine.
And Christine, who wrote the reconciliation sketch? It was such a
me. That actually, I had written that sketch. Well, Christine and I wrote it together, but. I had the idea and done a kind of early form of that sketch.
Do you want to describe what it was? I mean,
well, it was. Now I'm thinking, is that really true?
Well, it's the one with Alec Baldwin plays the handsome priest.
It was Alec Baldwin came on, and he's so handsome, and he's one of those guys who's handsome and funny, as you know, blah blah blah.
Yes,
and. I was telling Christine that in my Catholic high school, they had changed confession, and they now called it reconciliation. And you looked at the priest in a room instead of going to a confessional. And that at our high school, I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and the priest was Father Bowley. And he was so handsome that people would get so distracted telling them their sins.
That's funny.
They couldn't, he was so handsome.
Father Baldwin.
And then I would go in and start flirting with the priest, and then it was creepy and everything. And that I would start making up sins just to stay in the confessional, just so we could keep this conversation going.
Yeah.
And so we wrote that and Alec came in and wrote it with us. I mean, at least parts of it with us. And God, that was really fun. It was so much fun.
Very, very funny. He was perfect casting. And then you played it beautifully. I mean,
and then the best thing about that, we had written a line at the end where, because I'm like, I cheated on my diet, and he's like, well, that's not really a sin, and I'm like, oh, and then he goes, but I know what it's like to try to go on a diet. What did you cheat with? And I go, I ate a whole box of Oreos, and he says, oh, do you like to unscrew it and eat out the creamy center or something like that?
There you go.
And then the standards and practices like, you can't say eat out the creamy center. We suggest you say lick out the creamy center.
They always get it more pornographic.
It's so funny.
Every time.
Classic.
Okay.
Really? Yeah. Wow. Good.
Can you say go down on the Oreo? I think that would be better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is just a Catholic 20-second story. My wife and I were married in a Catholic church. The priest, we went to dinner with him, this and that. They usually have a few pops, you know what I mean? And my wife,
drinks,
very pretty, 23 at the time, gets up, goes to the bathroom with her tight jeans. He looks and says, if you don't marry her, I will. That was the priest. Good night. Wow. That's all I got. David?
Julia, were you there when Alec, I'm just looking at your thing where it says you brought up Alec, and then it says, she demonstrated an early talent for mimicry.
What is that? Is that like on IMDb or something?
And characters.
Awesome.
I love it.
Because I didn't. By the way, I was not good at mimicry, and people would often assigning me famous people to play, and I feel like I really was like C- at that. Like,
it feels like more special skills at the bottom. Mimicry. I heard you're good at mimicry, and you're like,
you were a mimic in third grade.
Do you remember Dana? I don't think Julie was there, but Alex's first show was my third one, and he did a sketch called The Mimic. Unless he did it later.
Oh, I think I think he had done it when he came. He had already done that.
This is the stupidest sketch, and he was so funny. He goes, The Mimic, and he picked up the phone and go, hello. He goes, he can do anything, and then he was like kind of bad at all of them. And because he actually is good at all these accents and stuff, but and he dressed all black. The Mimic.
Well, the classic was Frank Gorshin. He was a brilliant impressionist on Ed Sullivan in the 60s. And he would do the classic turn away from the camera and kind of fluff his hair up and then come back, which is like, look at me now, Oh, so
I like that. I like that kind of impressionist.
Yeah, we can do voices.
So Dana, do you live in LA now, not in Mill Valley anymore?
I was just in Mill Valley. The actual address is I was just there. We have the 1912 haunted house up there, and I've experienced. I don't know if I believe it, but poltergeist up there.
What?
And I told Dan Aykroyd about it, and he says I got to get someone in there to check it out. It's in one particular bedroom, and at night I would hear white noise because my son had moved out of that bedroom and moved in with his brother because he felt, and I would hear white noise because there was a portable radio there. So I would walk in and then the white noise would stop. All that. And it happened, a couple times a year, and I saw some things. Anyway, I'm in LA.
I happen to know the top paranormal debunker in the United States, if you're interested.
I don't necessarily believe in it. I've had the nightmare where you feel a pressure on your chest, even though you're in a waking dream state. And that made me leave the San Ysidro Hotel one night with my wife at 3 in the morning. I woke her up and said, we have to go now because I felt the pressure on my chest when I'm sleeping and bouncing up and down on me. And then I went and used the bathroom, thought, okay, I was dreaming. Then I laid back down and I felt like I was awake as I am right now. And then massive pressure that felt angry pushing down on me, and I was just couldn't move, and then it released me.
Didn't you have heart issues? Isn't there a physical explanation for that?
Yes,
I had 7 stents and a botched bypass 25 years ago. Look at me now.
Those are my issues.
Let me charge myself.
There's always a natural explanation. Always.
By the way, Julia, I know a paranormal bunker. They should meet your debunker. Dana, I get scared at my house because I just moved and I don't want to hear that story because I hear like clicking and the house settling in quotes. It's like, and Julia will say it's a house settling, which I say because I can't, in the middle of the night when it's dead silent, you're so scared. You're like, I have to think of a reason what's going on. Because it's always scary, but I haven't felt pressure or anything like that. I would fucking freak out.
Oh, I rented a house.
Since I became a person who doesn't believe in supernatural things like that,
except us,
I never get scared. I mean, I get scared when I think there's a reasonable chance that something's truly wrong. But that kind of stuff, I just think there's some things making the sound.
Yeah,
I'm not frightened of it at all. Because I never got hurt. It just flipped me out the first time. But I don't know if I said this, but Mike Myers, who kind of read the encyclopedia as a 5-year-old, nightmare is from the word, it's some medieval Latin prefix for a mare, and i.e. a horse feels like it's laying on top of you. And it's just a waking dream state. I read about it in the New York Times. The brain disconnects. David, you're fine.
That scared me, and I've never heard about the horse part, but I like it. Julia, you were in Coneheads. No, you were in Coneheads, weren't you? That was sort of a sign, wasn't it, or no? You weren't in Coneheads?
I remember thinking I'm playing the principal, and Chris Farley's playing a high school student, and we're only like 4 years apart in age. That tells you a lot about showbiz. Yeah, that was fun. I don't remember that much about it.
Yeah, I was in it too. Believe me, we were all in it. I think Lauren just said, David, you'll be reporting to Coneheads. And I was like, oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it was something like it was like you just were told that you were going. But David, you know what I remember is that sketch you wrote, not necessarily for me, but I got to be the main comedy driver of it. I always bring that up in the sketch. Remember the sketch where I go on the date and I just keep ordering expensive food and then I start talking about how I'm not going to put out. And then he's trying to push me towards the cheaper food. Do you remember that?
I don't. That's hilarious.
No, and you came to me and said, I have this idea for you. I'm going to write the sketch. And it was, I'm forgetting who the guy was. But it was some handsome guy. And and the whole thing was like me, like, oh, I'm so happy to be on the steak. Oh, lobster and steak. That's what I'm going to get. And then it's like, I just want to tell you that I don't ever have sex with anyone for a year. And then it kind of goes, it wasn't that obvious, but it was really well written. And when people say those guys at SNL, they were so, together and not, really into the women that much. I say, David Spade wrote a sketch for me. That was one of the best things I ever did.
That's so great. I love that.
And you don't remember.
He wasn't even in it. He just wrote it.
I can't believe,
it was a very loving thing to do. I don't know how much it meant about me, but I took it as a very
well. You probably performed it great because you.
Right, I know. I knew you were good. I knew you were good, you and it's fun to have a sketch, and you probably had the host in there, but when you get the funny parts, because it's really hard.
Because usually you're not getting to be the driver of the comedy, and that this character was. It was really the host was kind of just reacting to me, and you had just written it, and it was just the most wonderful gift. It was just an incredible thing. I bring that up at least once a month. I'm telling people that, and David Spade.
That's so nice.
And David doesn't remember.
That's the most baffling part. Of the sketches I wrote, I didn't write that many. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad you did it, and I'm glad you remember it and say it. That's great. I don't want to talk about me forever, but I like.
Do you want to talk about not many people? This will go full circle. Got a movie out of a character and you did. There was no Church Lady movie. There was a Stuart Smalley movie. There was a Pat movie in the 90s. Anybody else of a character? I think those were the two. Those two should have been in the movie together. They would have been great.
I know it. That was
is that a bittersweet memory or is it a good one?
Definitely bittersweet. I had such a good time making it. We didn't know what we were doing. I didn't do it with Lorne. I didn't understand the politics. He wanted to do it, but then
didn't he own it? Didn't he own the character?
No, I was one of the people. When I came in, my lawyer got me to own Pat. I don't know how. It doesn't even matter.
Got it. So you owned it and did it outside the system.
So I could have, because I had done that character at the Groundlings. I don't know why. Anyway, so he did. So it was my choice, and I think I made a dumb choice not to have Lorne be the producer of it because all kinds of awful things happened, aside from the fact that we didn't write a good script. So I don't know. It was really fun to do it. And it was really fun to make it. Oh my God, it was so much fun. And I learned so much. And then it was really a big bomb. But I always felt grateful for it. And I wrote to Eisner afterwards and said how I know I made it. I know I just wasted $8 million of your money.
Really?
But I learned so much and had a great time. And I know that shouldn't compensate for it because that's a lot of money. But I just want to say everything about it was really great. And thank you. I'll never forget that, obviously. And then he sent that letter around Disney because here's somebody who's grateful for failing.
Yeah. Wow. Julia, I did that with a movie once, and I think that's so cool you did that. I felt so bad after a movie. I called the guy and said, I appreciate you doing it. I'm just so sorry I didn't do what you wanted, kind of thing. And I don't think he wrote me back. But I do think for myself, I felt like I needed to do that.
Realize now, of course, everything's so different now, but I don't know how I would have done it differently. And maybe I wasn't really up to the task of turning that into something successful, but it wasn't. but I got the chance. I got the chance.
But Julie, is it hard to take a sketch? I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah, that's
a sketch
difficult.
And you've done a sketch and you feel like a lot of the good jokes is the reason the sketch is doing well. And then you're not really starting from scratch, but to fill the whole movie.
No, I think it is. I mean, actually, it wasn't until late. I didn't watch all the Charlie Chaplin movies till much later in my life. And when I watched them, I realized not that the character of Pat is anything like the Charlie Chaplin character, but that the way he was enigmatic and let everyone else be reacting to him while he was doing physical things would have been the way that I think it could have succeeded. But I didn't know enough to know that.
I was in some very shitty movies, but I never felt like I was driving the boat. But I do think that funny with the sound off, like if the sound broke on a Pat movie, it would be nice to think it could still work. But that to solve that dilemma, especially, Stuart Smalley, these are quirky characters. They're not. I think Wayne and Garth just followed Bill and Ted, and they're like dudes, party on. They're very accessible. And to make Pat, it would be a challenge because it's such an eccentric character, but visually
and it's
funny.
And it's
audio.
It's sort of like more for adults, and Wayne and Garth could be for adults or kids. They can get into it too.
Yeah,
because it's like very
kids.
But Stuart Smalley, when I lived in Chicago for 10 years, and I was helping to teach at the Harold Ramis Film School. They have this film program that I was teaching. I was really not teaching. It was a friend of mine teaching it, but I kind of helped for one semester. And we were watching some Harold Ramis movies, and he directed Stuart Smalley. And so we watched it, and you know what? I liked it. I thought it was a successful film. It's a really quirky movie, but I was really, unlike Pat, when I watched the Pat movie, I was like, yeah, this doesn't work. I mean, this really didn't work. But Stuart Smalley, I thought worked.
Yeah, I mean, Harold Ramis is so talented. I think I was talking to Al Franken. I think he's going on Fallon soon, and I told him he should do Stuart Smalley, even for the young audience, and hold Jimmy's hand, make it all about Jimmy. Good enough, strong enough, that kind of thing. So,
oh my God, I almost canceled myself, except that no one cares if I'm canceled. Because after Al Franken's debacle and demise from the Senate, I was so angry and upset. I was so angry I couldn't sleep for a month. I was so angry. And then I wrote a one-person show about it and did it for like 5 Saturdays at the Groundling Small Theater until people came up and said, Julia, first of all, this isn't even funny in any way. It was just me. I went through all the allegations. Allegation number 4. I was crazed with anger at how the Me Too movement had been twisted up in the worst possible way to go after this great guy, in my opinion. And I was so angry, you guys. And then I had somebody come and say, you'll never work again if you open this show. Because it's really just, even though I'm a Me Too supporter, but when it came to Al Franken, I just could see how all that shit went down. And it was bullshit. And then people weren't talking to me. And then I finally just dropped it because I couldn't make it entertaining enough. It really was a show of me for 90 minutes talking about each allegation against Al Franken and why, and my bulletin board, and this, and why, and why, and why. And I had to stop it. But I think that's when I really went over on the other side of the culture. Because I felt like, okay, I'm so angry about this. It's so unfair. And yet the culture is, I can't influence the culture, and I'm just going to wreck my own career and health over it. So I kind of just dropped it. And then I also realized I didn't really have the standing for anyone to care about it, what I thought about it. So I couldn't really even help him. And then later I finally saw Al Franken, and then I realized he didn't really care if I was doing that either. I was like, Al, I've just been doing a one-person show about you. And he's like, oh, thanks.
You don't have to.
It's kind of scary because if someone from high school said I looked at him wrong in 1973 or something,
exactly.
It's just like, whoa. I mean, there's the big players. We don't have to name them, where it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
There's a lot of people that maybe behaved a little boorishly or something, but to be canceled for life is just a bit much.
That was really, anyway, I didn't mean to take us into sad territory, but that was really, really, really just fucking got my goat. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't think of anything else. And it took a long time to just accept that's how life goes in an unfair way sometimes for some people. And that's how it's always been. I mean, like, not for everyone, obviously not for everyone, but sometimes you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. I kept thinking it's almost like there was a huge pileup on the road and Al Franken was driving on the outside of the road and his fender caught it and he just caught up in it. You know, like
one thing about Al, you can rest assured he's very resilient, obviously, and a tough character.
Yeah. No. When I saw him, he's already had a million ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I have a gear change question for Julia.
You have a what?
A gear change. Shift gears.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry.
No, I don't care.
We love all of it.
We love all questions. Before I got off, I wanted to ask you I read that you felt badly that you might have cracked up during Motivational Speaker, and I never thought of that of you. I never thought anything negative about that. I thought
I did. I do have a problem controlling laughing during sketches.
I didn't ever think that of you. I thought I fucked that sketch up. Me and Christina ruined it, but we were just laughing, which didn't really ruin it. It was so rare to happen. Yeah, that
it was really just seeing the funniest thing. And you knew that it was going to live forever, and you're in the middle of it, and you have the best seat in the house, and I can't stop laughing. Like that was good.
Farley in that character. I said it on another podcast. I think that's the most potent thing somebody's ever done. Maybe just the way he squatted and got ready for his next line. It's very crisp moves. It was like Chaplin-esque. He's just going to get squatted, get set with his body before I that might have broke me if I was in it.
I think Phil might be the only one that didn't laugh.
I know Phil is so good. I couldn't control it. I couldn't control myself.
We all started to break. And that's the problem is that and back then, I think they do it more now. They crack up a lot. But it was definitely a no-no.
And it was terrible to do that. You were being like, the Carol Burnett show now.
We didn't have as much fun as we could have had, because I was just thought you get fired. I mean, when Phil finally broke doing Tonto, Tarzan, and Frankenstein, and he's Frankenstein. He crashes through the thing or whatever, and then that first time Phil broke. Phil was done. Fire bad. And then I was toast. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Is he going to be in trouble? There's always fear on that show.
Yeah, there was. I wonder what it's like now. Because I was thinking, Lauren is so much older now than the people who are performing than he was from our age. For us, he was kind of an older guy, but now he's a much, much older guy.
Yeah, 76, and then a new cast member is like 22, and they're chatting about comedy.
That's a whole different feeling. I mean, I wonder what it's like. I don't know.
The meetings are like, who's your favorite rappers? Rap singers.
Right. Is Dr. Dre really a doctor?
Does anyone know?
Please. I think they always seem to find a way, that show, to find great people.
It's an incredible success that I didn't think. I thought, it'll go for a few more years, but you really have to hand it to him. I mean, it's really incredible.
He is the show, and he never panicked because there were so many years of we got to do it taped, or we got to change the name and change the band. And he knew he had an incredible brand. And he just stuck to it. And Steve Higgins said, Lauren wrote the Constitution of the House, and then it's liquid form. It can be whatever it becomes. Because now, going full circle with women, they play a lot of men on the show. You probably would have done George Bush or Ross Perot.
Yes. Well, the reason I played Pat at first is I was trying to play a man, but I didn't feel like it was very convincing. And so I thought, I'll just make a joke that you don't know if it's a man or a woman to kind of cover for my lack of acting ability. But now I probably wouldn't think that. I'd think I could just play a man if I wanted.
Julia, can we just get because we need something to trend. We're behind Smartless, but we're getting close. Inside your mind, have you ever thought to yourself, was Pat a man or a woman? Just internally to yourself. Do you know the secret?
I'm sorry. There's no secret.
There's no secret.
I know. I wish I could, so you had a little soundbite you could use out there, but I
know I was
be lying.
Making fun of sound bites. Here's a sound bite. Church lady wasn't religious. No, I don't know.
We could have done a church lady becomes an atheist. That would have been funny.
Oh.
I do think church lady with Pat would have been perfect, You know
what I think is that they just live together and you just don't ask questions about that relationship.
They moved in together, you think?
I just think it'd be funny if they just you find out that they've lived together for 35 years in separate rooms, but it's just curious.
Yeah.
And church lady just says we anyway. That would be her thing. We like to get dressed, don't we, in our clothes? Well, we have our special clothes on that fit us in a certain way, so we can't tell quite what we are under. Anyways,
Dana, do you have anything else for the lovely Julia Sweeney to ask her?
So you guys are both mainly living in LA now.
I'm living in LA. Are you?
Yes.
Or
yes,
I
moved back from Chicago. And
so
I bought a house in 1992 that I thought was going to be a starter house, but it's an ender house. And
prices have gotten pricey.
No, because I couldn't afford to live in this neighborhood. There's no way.
No chance.
So now my husband, I just married about 15 years ago, and my husband and
just 15 years. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
really a good guy.
Go ahead.
We're remodeling that house. It's a small house, but it's perfect for 2 retired people. Mm-hmm. And so we're remodeling it, and we're living next door while it's being remodeled. But it's supposed to be done in about a year.
It's supposed to be done in 10 and a half years.
So are you?
Yeah, it takes a while.
So when it's done, I want to have you guys over.
That's more like it.
It'll be really pretty, and we can sit in the backyard, and I'm a good cook.
I would love it. Will you invite us?
I'll go as Dana's +1.
Do you have my email, or Greg will give it to you?
No, Greg, you give me both their emails.
Yeah.
I think I saw you, David, at somebody's. Who was it? A party. Anyway.
Oh, David at a party?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, Dana. Those are the good old days. But I still go out if it's someone's dinner or some small thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I used to have big parties all the time. I used to have a Sunday night party that was huge every Sunday.
I think I was
young.
That. Yeah.
But now I like 4 to 8, small, the right people, nice food, early.
Early is the key.
Early.
I like to eat early.
I like to eat at 4 or 5.
I eat at 5. And so I would have an adult beverage.
We're on the same page.
Yes.
Yes. Early, fun, maybe Sunday, 4 to 8. Boom, get in, get out.
Maybe 4 to 7.
And you're an atheist, so you won't care it's a holy day. Sorry. I am too. No, I'm an agnostic. I'm pretty sure I'm not an atheist. I don't know. Whatever. Joke to come.
Julia, send us a mass email and get Dana and I on
Julia Sweeney, one of the all-time great cast members of Saturday Night Live.
Thanks for having me. It's really nice to see you guys.
And when your house is done,
Julia.
we will see you. And if we don't see you then, we'll see you at the 50th. And my hair is going to even be more weird.
I guess it's pretty close to that now, right?
Oh, yeah.
2025.
Get the Pat outfit back in the suitcase.
I'm going to get a few little things done right before I go.
The last one, I really cared about being there, and it was really important for me, my identity, that I was on SNL. Mm-hmm. I'm in such a different place now. I don't even know if I'd go because I just feel like, yeah, okay.
I know. Do I want to fly?
You just, I know. You kind of. It's really about Lauren. Kind of.
Well, no, I mean it is fun, but you don't. It's not like you can really talk to people. I mean, like. You just kind of be in the
anyway, you're going, hey, there's Bill Hader, or there's Melanie Hutzel. Yeah, I know it's everywhere but nowhere. I like a small party, 6 to 8 people.
I think instead I'll have it after you guys go. I'll have my dinner party and we'll tell you all the
juice. Yes.
Juice it up.
Julia Sweeney.
Okay, honey. I'll get your emails.
Yes, get our emails. We'd love to keep in touch, and so great to see you. This is a fun part of this podcast. Just getting reconnected with old friends.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye's awkward.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcast.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13, executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman, with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.